House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders says he will not have a role elsewhere in the administration.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. Vice President Pence is talking tough about Russia. In another former Soviet country turned U.S. ally, Fox's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Dave, speaking in Georgia, the vice president pledging continued American support amid concerns about Russian aggression.
President Trump has called on Russia to cease its destabilizing activities. And my purpose here today is to reinforce that message to the people of Georgia.
He referenced Russia's military presence in the Georgian region of South Ossetia, which Russia recognizes as an independent state after fighting a war with Georgia 9 years ago. These days, Georgia is bidding to join NATO. Dave?
Simon, Black Hawk down in Afghanistan. The U.S. helicopter had a hard landing this morning in an area home to ISIS fighters, but a NATO statement says the crew was rescued, 2 soldiers who suffered just minor injuries. The manhunt continues in Alabama for Brady Kilpatrick, the last of 12 prisoners still on the run after a Sunday night jailbreak.
They cooked up the plot to trick an employee at the jail's control room by using peanut butter from sandwiches to change the number on an interior door to that of an exterior door. They hollered for the door to be opened. The guard spotted the number, released the lock, and unwittingly opened an exterior door, setting the Dirty Dozen free.
That's Fox's Kevin Battle. This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
In Chicago this morning, we have 70 degrees, cloudy skies. Winds right now from the north at 5 miles an hour and rising humidities today. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. And here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560 The Answer. Authorities are investigating a deadly crash in west suburban Glendale Heights. That accident happened early this morning on Army Trail Road between Bloomingdale and Regency. Lanes were closed as crews tried to clear that scene. Republican Governor Bruce Rauner expected to use his veto power to remove some money for Chicago public schools from a school funding bill, a move that could jeopardize funding for Illinois' roughly 850 districts. Democrats on Monday sent Rauner a school funding overhaul they passed in May, but held on to over concerns the governor would veto that plan. Rauner has called for the money for Chicago, a bailout for pensions, and promised to strip it out. He also accused Democrats of holding students hostage and threatening the ability of schools to open in a couple of weeks. If Rauner makes changes and legislators cannot muster enough votes to approve an override, that legislation dies. City of Chicago on pace this year to exceed the number of killings in 2016. The Sun-Times reporting the citywide murder total was 407 as of yesterday. Last year, the city didn't reach 400 killings until August 1st. Mayor Emanuel's office is projecting a budget deficit for 2018 of just over $114 million. His administration touts that figure, saying it's the lowest shortfall since 2007. Police are searching for a man who robbed and sexually assaulted a woman at gunpoint over the weekend in west suburban Aurora. Authorities say the attack happened Saturday morning in an alley on Marion Avenue. The suspect took off with an undisclosed amount of cash. The woman was treated at a local hospital. No one hurt following a massive garage fire in St. Charles. 20 departments responding to the blaze that broke out yesterday in the 300 block of Indiana. The frontrunner in the Democratic field for governor says he wants to turn Illinois into the center of what he calls resistance to President Trump. Candidate J.B. Pritzker yesterday vowed to stand up, he says, to the president, is proud to be part of that resistance. University of Illinois at Chicago researchers and Park District officials say they've come up with a way to keep swimmers out of Chicago's lakefront when there's too much bacteria in the water. Public health experts and park officials have struggled for decades on when to shutter beaches to protect swimmers from illness-causing bacteria like E. coli. A team at the university conducted same-day testing of water this summer. The effort allows the Park District to post alerts based on 4-hour-old data. Testing used to take up to 24 hours. A Pennsylvania celebration of a popular Polish treat is embroiled in a food fight this morning. with a Chicago Area Chamber of Commerce threatening a trademark infringement lawsuit over the use of the name Pierogi Festival. The Wilkes-Barre Citizen Voice reports lawyers from the Whiting Pierogi Fest in Indiana recently sent a letter demanding that the Edwardsville Hometown Committee stop using the name or pay a royalty. Citing a 1994 Pierogi Fest trademark, the letter called the Pennsylvania festival name unfair competition and likely to cause consumer confusion. Local lawyers said in a federal suit Monday that the Edwardsville Festival is not a competitor and the general name is not a trademark infringement. Fourth annual Edwardsville Pierogi Festival was held in June. The 143rd annual Whiting Pierogi Fest was held last weekend. Chicago sports, Matt Davidson had a walk-off hit for the second straight game. Sox topped the Blue Jays 7-6. Davidson an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Sox rallied from a 6-0 deficit as well, thanks to a Davidson two-run home run in the eighth inning. White Sox continue their three-game series with the Blue Jays tonight. Cubs open up a three-game series with the Diamondbacks at Wrigley later this evening. The News is a service of Napa Auto Parts. It is hot out there, but not hard to protect your engine from overheating. All you have to do is go to any participating Napa Auto Parts store, grab some Prestone antifreeze for $11.99 a gallon. That's Napa know-how. 5:07. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I want my government to just leave me the hell alone.
The Joe Walsh Show.
I don't have a political party speaking for me. The Republican Party, the Democrat Party, for somebody like me who just wants my government to leave me alone, the Republicans and Democrats don't do squat for me. We need something else.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
I just want to be left alone.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
When I heard of Balance of Nature, and I said, because I had prayed, Lord, how am I going to get all this food into me that's so good to me? That's when I called. Now I know that I get my fruits and my vegetables into me, and I don't have to work so hard. I know that I am getting the proper things into my body. I do believe that if I didn't have this already in my body, my Balance of Nature, it wouldn't have gone so good for me. But because my body was healthy, that's what kept me going.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-400-4173. That's 1-800-400-4173. 1-800-400-4173.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with a 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
5:10 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Mike. In Glendale Heights, everything is open again on Army Trail between Bloomingdale Road and Glen Ellen Road after that major overnight wreck. Still have delays on eastbound 8094 from Burr to Grant. There was an earlier collision involving a delivery truck and its trailer. That's been relocated. Still slow, though, from Burr to Grant. See slight delays on the inbound Rye and inbound I-57 already. Also, Bishop Ford, you got a 2-minute delay from Cottage Grove to the merge. Downtown Columbus is now closed in both directions. Monroe and Roosevelt for Lollapalooza, which starts Thursday. This is in addition to the closures. Balbo, Congress, Jackson, and Monroe. Traffic is a service of Boost Mobile. Switch to Boost and get 2 lines with 3 gigs of 4G LTE data per line for only $50. Plus, get up to 2 free LGX power phones, all powered by the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. Clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon. Tomorrow, high 82. Then a mainly cloudy night, low 67. A thunderstorm in the area which could be strong Thursday, high 82. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
69 at O'Hare, 74 along the lakefront. Next news at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And
so, how did it go?
I'm sorry. This isn't a library. You're allowed to speak at a normal conversational tone.
I'm trying, but you know how I got sick? I have an upper respiratory infection.
Yeah.
It's traveled to my head and my throat. So I sound like Peter Brady when it's time to change.
Yeah.
And it's time to change.
I was going to suggest something a little less saccharine. You sound more like a Wes Craven horror movie villain.
It's all right. I don't know what to do, but I'm here. But I'm here because...
Great.
So that means
super.
I can't make out with any of you today, okay?
That's so you're going to listen
I'm going to sign.
You're going to listen to this for 4 hours.
It's like I gargled glass. But we have to ask you about your...
Seriously. What?
Your court hearing. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
No.
We'll get to the court hearing.
Oh.
That's called a tease in the business.
I'm in trouble because of your court hearing.
What? How are you in trouble?
Because you texted me. I got out, get busy living.
Yeah.
And I looked down at my phone and got pulled over and got a ticket. Because you.
It's the circle of life, Simba.
I know, but I texted it through my headset. I said, text Dan. I wasn't texting.
Well, so why didn't you do your customary crying and get out of it?
You know why? He said you can't have your cell phone on your lap. And I said, I always drive with my cell phone on my lap.
And then the water works and then you get off.
Didn't happen. $200. Thanks, Dan.
Oh, that's my fault. I don't know where you are when I text you. I'm not requiring you to look at your phone as soon as you receive a text.
So mad.
Some people live lives. They don't. They're not waiting for a text to come over the transom and so they can immediately look at it.
I looked at the text and I got a $200 ticket.
It's $200.
$200, and it's a moving violation.
Well, yeah, of course, because you're in your car.
Thanks,
you're moving.
Dan.
Yeah. Boy, that's interesting, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
The cosmos works in mysterious ways, doesn't it? That's almost more than my fine.
Are you serious?
Well, almost.
Well, wait. When are you going to tell the story? Because that's
I'll
what
tell it. You know, I'm sure our listeners are fascinated by the rich vicissitudes of my life, but I want to get to what's happening in D.C. first. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to the whole courtroom drama, and all of the legalese that was presented, the case histories, the precedents, the arguments, the witnesses that were called, all of speaking the Brady Bunch, the little courtroom antics I tried, throwing my suitcase on the ground so that the guy with a neck brace on would turn and then I'd win the case. All of that stuff we'll get to. But yesterday, Trump introduced his new chief of staff at General John Kelly's first cabinet meeting as his chief of staff, summarily.
Good morning. This is our first cabinet meeting with General Kelly. He will be chief of staff, as you know. We all know him. We respect him, admire what he's done. And at Homeland, what he has done has been nothing short of miraculous. As you know, the border was a tremendous problem, and now close to 80% stoppage. And even the president of Mexico called me. They said their southern border, very few people are coming because they know they're not going to get through our border, which is the ultimate compliment. So I just want to congratulate him on the great job he's done with Homeland Security, and I have no doubt that he will be an absolutely superb chief of staff.
And then Anthony Scaramucci passed away. So we remember today
the Mooch.
Tony the Mooch. Just as his alma mater remembers him as dead.
What?
The Harvard Law Alumni Directory lists him as deceased. Scaramucci. I'm not kidding. Well, that explains the divorce. I don't know why his wife would stay married to a dead man. I don't know why President Trump would hire a dead man to be his comm director.
Think about it. In 1 week, he lost his wife, he gave birth to a son, and he lost his job.
And his life. Regrettably, there's an error in the Harvard Law Alumni Directory in the listing for Anthony Scaramucci. We offer our sincere apologies to Mr. Scaramucci. The error will be corrected in subsequent editions, even though his career is now dead. No, that was a little parenthetical remark I added. Sarah Huckabee Sanders was asked about Scaramucci being escorted from the premises by security. Boy, how the mighty have fallen in 10 days. And she had the following.
Look, the president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position. And he didn't want to burden General Kelly also with that line of succession. As I think we've made clear a few times over the course of the last couple of days to several of you individually, but General Kelly has the full authority to operate within the White House, and all staff will report to him.
So Jeff Zelny from CNN got the breaking news tip about him being escorted by security.
We are told by our producers here, our team here, that he was escorted off the property, which isn't necessarily unusual. I mean, if someone is no longer working here, he has no reason to be here. So we are told that he was escorted off the property earlier this afternoon. Now the question is what happens next. Most people in Donald Trump's orbit, President Trump's orbit, never leave entirely. They go to a different part of the structure or the system. He obviously still supports this president very much. So we'll be keeping an eye on and trying to report more what he's going to do after this. I expect that he will stay in his orbit as an outside advisor of some kind, perhaps even some other type of job in the government. I wouldn't rule that out, Brooke. But in terms of the White House grounds, the West Wing here, he is no longer here.
Yeah, he gone, and any other role that he may have in the future it's not going to be in the president's inner orbit, if you will, to continue Zelny's metaphor, because Kelly wanted him out, and that's why he's gone. And the real takeaway from this, I mean, the mooch and, the shortest executive career since that Pope who got poisoned, to borrow a line from Wall Street. That's Scaramucci, 10 days. The real point here is General Kelly closing ranks. General Kelly being empowered to be the gatekeeper to the president, to make personnel decisions and to enforce those personnel decisions. That's the key takeaway. And that was the takeaway that Chuck Krauthammer had yesterday on Special Report as well.
It looks like the Trump administration hit bottom last week, and it seems to have bounced off the bottom. And if the line of command, and I would have imagined that Kelly would have demanded this. He's a guy from the Marines. He's a guy of order. He's been an orderly guy for 50 years. That he would demand that it all goes through him. I think then you have the beginnings of a White House that can really function. If that is true, and if the president will allow Kelly some control over the president's own unrestrained impulses, i.e. tweeting, I think that would be a tremendous advance, and it would give this administration a chance of succeeding.
So Krauthammer saying, bouncing back. The question is this a dead cat bounce for this administration? Will the decline continue, or is this really a signal of a turn? I mean, does anybody disagree that Scaramucci was a bad hire and that General Kelly is absolutely correct to escort him out of the White House, whether Kellyanne Conway takes over as comm director as rumored, or they bring in somebody else, lower profile, just kind of ratchet down the intensity and the temperature of the rhetoric, generally speaking, particularly as it pertains to ad hominem directed internally in a public forum. Yeah. I mean, if we could at least get that baseline agreement, then we'd be making some progress. And I think with Kelly, we're going to get that and more.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Plenty of sunshine today.
I'm sorry, what? We'll take your home remedies for Amy's affliction all morning, too. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Give Jim Telemonte the first crack.
Partly sunny today, a high 84. Jim?
All right, Amy, thanks. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry about that. Maybe gargling with some hot salt water might help a little bit. The Eden's all clear right now. Kennedy looking good. No delays to report on the Eisenhower. Inbound Stevenson, little congestion. State to Lakeshore Drive. Earlier road work cleared. Just a 1-minute delay. Inbound Ryan, you've got a 2-minute delay coming into downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, same deal. About 2 minutes worth of delays approaching the merge. Tollways are fine. 8094 has cleared up now. There was an earlier crash, pretty big one involving a delivery truck at Grant, but the delays are gone as the crash has been relocated. In Glendale Heights, everything is open again on Army Trail between Bloomingdale Road and Glen Ellen after a major overnight wreck there. Downtown Columbus is now closed in both directions between Monroe and Roosevelt for Lollapalooza this upcoming weekend. This is in addition to the other closures, so you'll have some heavy congestion in that area over the next probably almost a week. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-3861. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-3861. That's 1-800-300-3861. 1-800-300-3861.
Message and data rates may apply.
What does home security look like in 2017? It's not strangers drilling holes in your walls. It's not big names making empty promises. In 2017, thanks to some out-of-the-box thinking, FrontPoint Home Security is 100% wireless with cellular monitoring and is ready to set up right out of the box. Plus, it's backed up by the best customer service in the industry. Experience the next generation of home security with FrontPoint. For a free quote, text the keyword FAMILY to 642-642. FrontPoint can be controlled right from your smartphone, so you can remotely control your lights, thermostat, and door locks. With text and email alerts, live video streaming, night vision, and professional monitoring 24/7, your home is protected with us. Ready, set, secure. It's that easy. Protect your family right out of the box with FrontPoint. We deliver it, you unbox it. For your free quote, text FAMILY to 642-642 on your smartphone. That's FAMILY to 642-642.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
Your logo is your brand, your reputation. It's your most valuable asset. So what's the best thing to do with it? Give it away. When the experts at 4imprint put your logo on the right promotional products, giving those items away can make a lasting impression, empower your brand, and attract new customers. In fact, we'll prove it by revealing the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers absolutely free. Simply text the keyword GIVE to 642-642. We don't just print your logo. We're here to help you every step of the way. The 4imprint team can make your logo shine on your choice of thousands of promotional items, all delivered on time at great prices with free art assistance and outstanding customer service that's second to none. Want to turn your logo into profit? Give it away. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers absolutely free by texting GIVE to 642-642. That's GIVE to 642-642.
AM 560, The Answer.
Remembering Anthony Scaramucci like Harvard Law is all morning. Your favorite moments from Anthony Scaramucci's 10 days as White House comm director. Also sitting in for Amy Jacobson this morning is Harvey Fierstein. I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?
I have an upper respiratory infection.
Yeah.
It moved to my head. It's not fun. My sinuses are throbbing.
Yeah.
And I think I have a fever.
Yeah.
Hey, how about a hug?
Yeah. Okay, just keep it to yourself over there. So yesterday, since you're so interested in this,
yes,
I went to court with my phalanx of hired guns.
How many attorneys did you bring?
Their sharkskin suits. Yeah, the
How
customer.
many?
How many? The customer you bring to traffic court, 6. You have specialists in a lot of different disciplines. But
how fast were you going? Tell everybody the truth.
I was going at a relatively high rate of speed. I mean, not for a space shuttle, but for a car.
140 or 130?
No. Yeah, me and Sammy Hagar. It was all going well, but then then my attorney broke bad on me a little bit.
What happened?
Well, it was captured on the courtroom audio. I'll let you listen.
That man is a slime. He is a slime. If he's allowed to go free, then something really wrong is going on. Mr. Kirkland, you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order. That man, that crazy, depraved man, raped and beat that woman there, and he'd like to do it again. He told me so. It's just a show.
Needless to say, I'm filing an ARDC complaint against Al Pacino. So, the case got adjudicated. I pled guilty, paid a little fine, and, everybody's happy.
So it wasn't a felony?
By the way, a felony? What are you talking
you're
about?
Going so fast, Dan.
There's aggravated, speeding, but it's not a felony.
Misdemeanor?
It's technically, yes.
So do you have a misdemeanor on your
No,
record?
it's not a conviction. It's
Okay.
it's a plea deal essentially. But plea deal. You act like I'm a hardened criminal. Yeah, I know you want to make this melodramatic. It's not a big deal. It's I was speeding. I paid a fine. I got to do the online traffic school course.
Sweet.
Which is lame.
Let's do it together. Let's do it all morning so I don't have to talk.
No. And I got to wait for Dorothy Brown to get back to me on that, too. So that should be 6 to 10 years from now. And then that's it. And then, it doesn't go on my record. And so
doesn't go on your record?
driving record is no. It's just so stop with your hysterics.
Well, I'm hysterical because you texted me because I asked you to let me know how your court hearing went. And you texted me, I'm free, get busy living.
They sprung me, yeah.
Yeah, and I looked down at my phone and I got a $200 ticket for looking at my phone.
You should be aware of your surroundings.
Oh
if you've got a police car right next to you, you probably should have your eyes forward and your hands at 10 and 2. Or is it 9 and 3 now?
Did the judge address you personally? Like, son, slow down?
No.
He didn't say anything?
She, sexist. I mean, honestly. When are you going to, why don't you join us in the 21st century, Amy? Not all judges are men.
What did she say?
She said, how do you plead? And I said, insanity. Because I'm crazy for you, Your Honor. And then she let me off.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we're going to talk like this all day.
A cure for
honestly,
Amy.
Yeah.
Holy
honestly,
mackerel.
Honestly, we may suspend the show and just turn it over to Mike Scott for the next 3.5 hours.
Why not? 70 and cloudy skies, winds from the north. Calm to 5 miles an hour right now in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. The new White House Chief of Staff is shaking up things on day one on the job. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders says all of the White House staff now report directly to John Kelly.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position.
Anthony Scaramucci is out. The new chain of command comes on the day of the ouster of Communications Chief Anthony Scaramucci. Los Angeles will host the Olympics for the third time. L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti says the deal they forged with the IOC to take the games in 2028 was too good to pass up. The agreement gives the 2024 games to Paris. Uber will begin raising the pay of many of its workers today. Uber announcing last month it will adjust the salaries of 12,000 workers, all based on job title and location, along with some time with the company. 2 Venezuelan opposition leaders are in government custody. Their families say Leopoldo Lopez and Antonio Ledesma had been under house arrest before security officers took them from their homes overnight. HBO overnight says hackers broke into their computers and put unreleased episodes of a number of their popular shows online. The company released a statement yesterday saying they recently experienced a cyber incident and they're working with law enforcement. Mayor Emanuel's office projecting a budget deficit just over $114 million for the next budget year. No one at the Illinois Capitol really seems to know what's going to happen next. Lawmakers spend most of the day trying to negotiate a new plan to pay for Illinois schools. Those talks broke down late in the day as Democrats walked away from the table, then angrily sent Governor Rauner their original proposal and all but dared him to change it. Governor has vowed to strip out extra money to bail out Chicago public school pension system. Chicago sports, Matt Davidson, a walk-off hit for the second straight game. Sox top the Blue Jays 7-6. Sox continue their set with the Blue Jays tonight as the Cubs prepare for a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks. The news, a service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today, just $19.99 plus $3 disposal fee. For tires, oil service, and repairs, National Tire and Battery, that's all you need. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher can always count on the Democrats.
I'm being told that Donald Trump Jr. took a meeting with a Russian lawyer in which no law was broken. At least the Democrats aren't overreacting. What's this? Senator Tim Kaine?
This is moving into perjury, false statements, and even into potentially treason.
Yep, you can count on the Dems.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
5:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound Reagan Tollway 88 past Randall, but well before Orchard. Got a crash in the left lane. This is a reported crash with extraction. A car into the wall there. Prepare to slow down approaching the area. Northbound Tri-State, heavy early from 87th to the 83rd Street Toll Plaza, and also from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. That ramp to the outbound Ike is starting to back up. The Edens, the Kennedy are fine. Inbound Eisenhower, slow Manheim to 25th, about a 2-minute delay. Inbound Stevenson, slow starting around Central. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 427. Everything is clear again in Glendale Heights after that major overnight crash on Army Trail. The traffic is the service of Napa Auto Parts. This month, at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the Napa Legend battery comes with a prepaid Visa card worth $15 by mail. So start every drive with a Legend and save yourself some money with a Napa Legend battery. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business. Since 1935, partial sunshine today, a high of 84, partly cloudy, a low of 68 overnight. 69 at O'Hare, 74 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Lou Bridges Show. Tune in on Saturday mornings at 8 to learn how you might fight foreclosure and keep your home.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Kathleen Turner in for Amy Jacobson this morning.
I just gargled hot water and salt. I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
La, 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 la.
That voice is so husky it could pull a dog sled. Before we get to another Charlie Gard case brewing in England, let's go to Vince in Waukegan. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer, Vince.
Hey, Dan. Hey, Amy.
Hello.
Just a quick thing. Amy, hydrogen peroxide, gargle with hydrogen peroxide. That clears your sinuses really well and clears out your throat. Yeah, hydrogen peroxide. It's an oral debriding agent.
Are you a doctor, Vince?
I use it all the time, and I especially use it when I get sick.
That wasn't the question. Are you a doctor, Vince? Are you a doctor?
And my moment of wisdom for you, Dan, would be you should have
He's not answering.
hired Loretta Lynch as your attorney. I've heard she's looking for work, and she probably could have got you off of all the charges.
Well, that's true, but I have a strict policy against hiring former Obama administration attorneys. So,
I could see why.
Yeah, thanks for the
Vince,
call, Vince.
thank you.
Appreciate it. And the home remedy tip. Hydrogen peroxide.
But if you swallow it, don't you die?
Right. Isn't that what you use to bleach your hair?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying there's not multiple uses, and I'm
Clean out. Well, you use it to clean out wounds. Yeah.
I guess that's just peroxide for your.
No, people use hydrogen peroxide to
for
bleach
your
your
hair,
hair.
right? Yeah. So, maybe, although the fact that
Is he
Vince
trying
was
to kill me?
dodging my question about whether or not he is a doctor or has any medical background,
I'm going to look that up.
that should give you pause for concern. Not exactly WebMD, Vincent Waukegan.
Then should I gargle bleach next?
Right, exactly.
Oh, thanks,
Oh, there we go. So here's some tea, stat. Thank you, Dr. Mike Scott. All right, so we've got another potential Charlie Gard case in England. We also have an answer to the question, could Charlie Gard happen in the U.S.? And the answer is yes, it already has.
Really?
Of course. Another family in the U.K. fighting to keep doctors from forcing their sick baby off of life support. From the Mirror, Alfie Evans, being treated at Alderhay Children's Hospital in Liverpool, suffers from a mysterious condition staff are struggling to diagnose. It's a 14-month-old baby, and the family is looking for treatment for their little boy across the globe. He has been in a coma in the hospital's intensive care ward since last December. He suffers regular seizures, but the doctors don't know what the cause is. And they have warned the family that they may have to switch off Alfie's life support, though Dad is having none of it, and so a potential legal battle brewing again. So, as David French points out in National Review, no firm diagnosis here, which of course distinguishes from the Charlie Gard case. But he asks the question, why would doctors try to force a baby off life support when they haven't been able to determine the cause of his cognitive disability? That seems like an operative question. As in all fetal care cases, the treatment is unwanted by doctors because it's working. In other words, they're keeping him alive. Hence, it isn't the treatment but Alfie's life that would be declared futile if the courts pulled another quote-unquote Charlie Gard. Now, some half dozen U.S. hospitals are already offering alternative care for little Alfie. His father saying, I'm pleading for help from anywhere now. I've been getting in touch with lots of hospitals. I've particularly received positive responses from one in Miami, which has received Alfie's details. And so this is another pending case. Megan McArdle has a good piece in Bloomberg, and she distinguishes between her support for the parents in the Charlie Gard case and her support for mandatory vaccinations. And the point that she makes is this creeping definition of the government acting in the interest of the public's health.
Mm-hmm.
And she writes, the more intimately government becomes involved in the provision of general health services, rather than simply stopping the spread of epidemics, the more intimate the decisions it will make. When government is in charge of providing all the health care, it will develop a whole set of policies and norms for deciding when it will not provide that health care. It cannot be otherwise. If they didn't say enough at some point, doctors and patients would exhaust the entire national budget chasing futile hopes for life. Yeah, so I mean, just understand something for those who demagogue the insurance company, and for good reason in many cases. There's no defender of big insurance companies, who, by the way, were the architects of Obamacare, as much as Gruber and the gruesome Zeke Emanuel were. But government rations too. And government is most ill-situated to be in the business of rationing. And most because it has a monopoly of force in society where insurance companies do not. Most unlikely to respond to reason, most unlikely to defer to doctors or hospitals or public pressure. Could it happen in the U.S.? Of course it has. Aiden Halu, a 20-year-old resident of Nevada, never woke from an appendectomy performed in April of 2015. Her family fought to have her treated, but the hospital sued the family, demanded that Halu be removed from life support and allowed to die. Now, she wasn't brain dead. She had full brain waves on her EEG, but she met the Nevada state statute at the time for brain dead because you only had to meet 2 out of the 3 criteria. She didn't have normal reflexes. she didn't breathe on her own when they turned off the breathing machine. Now, that doesn't mean she still couldn't get better. Her chances were remote. They were very low, but the hospital and the other physicians said it was essentially zero. Callister, who's a critic of what they did in the HALU case and just this debate in general, the definitions of futility and a reasonable hope for improvement. So this is the same debate that was had in the Charlie Gard case. Dr. Callister telling the Daily Caller, no physician has an obligation to treat a patient that's beyond hope. That's where we get into the concept of futility. But how you define futility versus reasonable hope in any given case is a murky gray area. Like I said, one doctor could say this is futile, another doctor could say this gives hope. And he goes on to say, look, here's how it'll happen. The Aiden HALU case is one look at it. That's a particular hospital. That the way it'll go down, it'll get into the argument, just like Charlie Gard, of what is reasonable hope to recover, and we can get into some real splitting hair dynamics. The problem for people like us, the average person who wants reasonable care when they have a reasonable hope of recovery, or even some hope of recovery to get back to a quality of life, they need to be able to count on people not to use that disagreement or that splitting of hairs against them. In other words, to call something futile when it's really not futile at all, but it's a standard of care. And that's where I think we see egregious denials, and we do see that sometimes already, talking about the U.S. healthcare system. And how will that be exponentially increased, the problem Dr. Callister is addressing, if you have the government formally and fully in charge of healthcare rationing.
But in the case with the person who had the appendectomy, excuse me, the family has private insurance, and the insurance company said, we're not going to pay for this anymore because he can't breathe on his own.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, then they have to, start a GoFundMe page to keep their child alive?
Well,
Or is the insurance company going to pay?
Well, you have, that is an issue, the insurance company paying. There are other options, though. And, the difference between, say, that case where you have a denial of payment versus the state in charge. Parents are still in charge here. There was no, we're not releasing your daughter to you. That's a big difference. So, for example, in the Charlie Gard case, they raised private money to try this experimental procedure, but got hung up in the courts because the state was more interested in protecting its system than it was in Charlie Gard's life. That's a big difference. As I said, these are complicated cases, and I'm not putting a white hat on insurance companies, but that is still markedly different. You have options. You have choices. Your child, you are the lead decision maker for your child, not the state in the HALU case as contrasted from the Gard case. That's an important difference. Carl in Arlington Heights, here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Morning.
It all kind of leads to, especially if we go to a one-payer universal health system, in these two cases that you're discussing, medical mission creep.
Yeah.
When does the system decide, you know what? We know babies are viable at 26 or 28 weeks with intensive therapy and care and neonatal intensive care units, but we're going to make that cutoff at 24 weeks now. So if you're born 24 weeks or earlier, sorry, you'll be held until you expire. As opposed to, in this country right now at least, babies who are born in the stage of viability are still cared for and looked after and, in most cases, thrive. So that medical mission creep is going to start to kick in. It already has in England, and it's starting to here with certain insurance carriers. So we really need to guard against a monolithic, one system handles all type of process, and I hope people are starting to wake up to that.
Are you a doctor, Carl?
No.
Okay, you sounded like one.
Nor am I a lawyer, so don't go there either.
All right, fine. All right. Very good. Thanks for the call. Excellent point. Randy in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Yeah, how come Cuba isn't stepping up to help all these kids? I understand they have the best health care in the world.
Oh, yeah, Randy, stop watching Michael Moore movies. Thanks for the call.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for today, it's going to be partly sunny, a beautiful high of 84 degrees. You do have a chance of a shower in northwest Indiana. And then tomorrow, showers or thunderstorms around in the afternoon. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Reporting on the eastbound Reagan Tollway, got a crash. This is past Randall Road. The delays are from Orchard to that point past Randall, which is where the crash is, in the left lane. So you've got a bit of a delay there. Not too bad at the moment. Everything's open again on 8094 after an earlier crash at Grant on the eastbound side. We have a fire on Chicago's south side, 117th and Torrance, in a 3-story building. Edens is fine. The Kennedy inbound. Couple of heavy pockets now. It's 22 minutes, so here to downtown. Outbound 20. A little slow on westbound 190 approaching the tri-state. About Eisenhower, 33 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 29. Stevenson, 42 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Ryan is 23 minutes. 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Birthdays, weddings, graduations never end. Don't stress about the perfect gift. Never go to a party empty-handed when ChicagoRadioDeals.com is just a click away. You can purchase and print a gift certificate the same day. Give a $100 gift certificate to Zembar Jewelers in New Lenox. Here's the deal. You pay only $50 to buy the $100 gift certificate. Most deals on ChicagoRadioDeals.com are half the retail price. Give the gift of dance with private and group lessons from Fred Astaire Dance Studio in Burr Ridge. Or the gift of music in the form of a drum kit, guitar, or digital piano from Midlothian Music. Visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com today for instant gifts you need to give this weekend. Dinners, tickets to live music and comedy, Lake Michigan cruises, bed and breakfast overnight stays in Milwaukee and Door County, spa treatments, and more. Find them all at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Hello, everyone, and here we go again with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union demanding more money from the Chicagoland taxpayers. Well, I say enough is enough. The teachers get paid from the property taxes that homeowners pay every year. If the teachers union gets more money, that means your property taxes are going to go higher. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent representative for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. For months now, I have been telling you about purchasing health savings account PPO plans that will cost you approximately 40% less in monthly premiums than you're currently paying now. Well, the same thing applies to the teachers union. I can show the union that they can purchase a more comprehensive health insurance plan that is in full compliance with the Affordable Care Act and will cost the taxpayers up to 40% less in monthly health insurance premiums. For more information, you can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Building owners and managers. Now is the perfect time of year for a service and maintenance agreement with Waukegan Roofing. Since 1914, Waukegan Roofing has been installing and maintaining roofs you can rely on for all of Chicagoland. Our experienced team of professional service technicians is the right solution for preserving the integrity of your new or existing roofing system for years to come. With your dedicated service technician and our multi-point inspection program, we cover all areas of your roof from early detection to preventative maintenance to repairs and everything in between. We're the licensed commercial roofing contractor you can rely on for all your roofing needs. Building owners and managers, now is the time to prepare your low-slope commercial roof for everything that Mother Nature throws at it this year. Call Waukegan Roofing today for your service and maintenance appointment at 877-ROOF-201. That's 877-ROOF-201. Or visit us online at waukeganroofing.com. Waukegan Roofing, installing roofs you can rely on since 1914.
Illinois licensee 104000761.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
Hi, Barry Sterner, owner of your premier home mortgage lender, Townstone Financial. Interest rates are extremely low, so there's no better time than the present to do a no closing cost refinance with Townstone Financial if your interest rate is above 4%. Remember, Townstone has completed thousands of no closing cost refinances since 2002. And don't worry, there are no hidden costs. I guarantee it, and I own the company. We can also customize the payback period so you don't have to start over at 30 years or 15. Last week, I began a no closing cost refinance where the borrower was going to save over $100 per month. That's $1,200 a year. So give me a call now at 312-896-2111 and let me review your current situation. Lastly, do you have mortgage insurance or an FHA loan? Let us see if we can remove the insurance payments, which will dramatically reduce your monthly payments. The call is free and so is my time, so dial 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111 or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com. Townstone Financial is an Illinois mortgage licensee 6629 and MLS 136639, equal housing lender.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
5:56, and a check of the roads this early morning. In our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the eastbound Reagan-Tillway, traffic is stop and go from Orchard past Randall, where a crash has the left lane blocked. Northbound Tri-State a little heavy from the Reagan-Tillway to the Eisenhower. The Edens is clear. The Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. On Eisenhower, 36 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound still fine at 29. Outbound Stevenson, 42 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 24 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Mission 423. Traffic. It's a service of Uber. If there's something you want to do before the summer's over and having some extra money can help, get your side hustle on and drive with Uber. It's a totally easy, flexible way to earn extra cash to help you meet your goals. Sign up today at uber.com/drive now. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer coming up after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partial sunshine, high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. Tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm around for the afternoon, high 82. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
69 at O'Hare, 74 along the lakefront. The news, a service of Napa Auto Parts. Top-notch engine protection from Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil is back for just $5.79 a quart at any participating Napa Auto Parts store. That's Napa know-how. General States prices do not include applicable state or local taxes or recycling fees. 5:58 in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560, The Answer. City of Chicago is on pace this year to exceed the number of killings in 2016. Sun-Times reporting the citywide murder total was 407 as of yesterday. Last year, the city didn't reach 400 killings until August 1st. Mayor Emanuel's office projecting a budget deficit for 2018 of just over $114 million. No one at the Illinois Capitol seems to know what's coming next. in regards to school funding, as lawmakers spent most of the day yesterday negotiating a new plan to help pay for portions of the budget of Illinois schools. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will finally release their report on whether electric barriers at the mouth of the Illinois River near Joliet are keeping the Asian carp out. The state panel has appointed a Gary, Indiana native who previously led other troubled school districts, head of that financially troubled district. Matt Davidson's walk-off hit wins it for the White Sox as they top the Blue Jays 7-6. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks. More Dan and Amy after Fox News, WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
A great day at the White House. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump tweeted, but it wasn't great for Anthony Scaramucci. Out of a job the same day a new chief of staff took over. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the news of Scaramucci's ouster as White House communications director came just hours after retired General John Kelly was sworn in as chief of staff.
I think Anthony wants General Kelly to be able to operate fully with a clean slate, build his own team, while at the same time the president felt his comments were inappropriate.
Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders brushed off concerns over a White House in chaos. Scaramucci lasted just 11 days in the employ of the Trump administration, but played a key role in the departure of former Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Dave.
Original U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter had a hard landing in Afghanistan this morning after a mechanical problem going down in a region that's home to ISIS fighters. But the 2 U.S. soldiers on board who suffered just minor injuries were safely recovered. The Taliban had claimed in a statement it had shot the helicopter down. A further crackdown in Venezuela. 2 opposition leaders were taken from their homes in the middle of the night after Sunday's vote giving President Maduro the power to rewrite the Constitution, prompting the U.S. to slap financial sanctions on him. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says it shows
support for the people of Venezuela, who strive to return their country to a full and prosperous democracy.
4 months of protests have left 120 people dead. 2 California cops are recovering in a hospital the morning after being shot in Los Banos.
After a struggle Monday with a man breaking into his estranged wife's apartment, that suspect also shot inside the apartment and later died at a hospital. Los Banos Police Chief Gary Brzee saying one of the officers, a 6-year veteran, was shot in the torso, lower leg, and head. The other officer shot in the torso. He joined the department a year ago, both listed in stable condition late Monday.
That's Fox's Paul Stevens. Fox News, fair and balanced.
One call could decide your child's future. We're Mathnasium Learning Centers, the world's specialist in teaching math. We began with a powerful idea. Teach kids math the way that makes sense to them, and kids will actually enjoy math. They'll do more of it, leading to higher and higher levels of mastery. Today, Mathnasium has 700 franchised locations. Find yours at mathnasium.com and make the call that could decide your child's future. Mathnasium, we make math make sense.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT, home, safe home.
Are all insurance agents the same? Well, I'd like to think I will work a little harder to give you the personal touch you need when it comes to protecting your family and hard-earned assets. My name is Tom Murray, and I'm an agent with Allstate Insurance, and we take our motto very seriously. You are, in fact, in good hands with us. I'm a longtime listener of AM 560. We have much in common, and believe me when I say I share your values and concerns. And I have never earned less than a 5-star rating with every single social media venue like Google, Yelp, and others because I deal directly with you and your concerns. Call me, Tom Murray, directly, and let's see if we can save you some money and make sure that the insurance you have on your life, auto, home, and health is the right coverage for you. Give me 15 minutes, and if I can't save you some money, I'll give you a $10 gift card to Starbucks. 847-380-1590 or Google Tom Murray Allstate and visit my website. 847-380-1590. That's 847-380-1590.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and sitting in for Amy this morning, Chicago Bears coach John Fox.
Stop it. I think it's getting a little bit better.
That was from Sam Unsicker from Big Monster Toys.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
I still have my
Yeah,
big...
he said John Fox. We got a tweet referencing Brenda Vaccaro.
Oh.
Great Broadway actress, also with a gravelly voice. Call in with your best. I've already suggested Harvey Fierstein, and I think I'm the leader in the clubhouse with that.
It's so mean.
Why don't you call in with your best compares?
Kim Carnes, my friend, texted me. I said I sound like Kim Carnes.
And you have Betty Davis eyes. Yes. All right. Call in, if you want to join in the fun we're having at Amy's expense.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Somebody told me to gargle bleach. Thanks.
Text 646-360-A with your,
help.
Ridicule. No.
Or maybe a suggestion.
Well, yeah, homemade remedies. I mean,
yeah.
just drink tea.
I know, but tea upsets my stomach, so I might,
Yeah, okay, well, don't make it worse. It's bad enough. All right, now switching gears from conversation about your demise to Western civilizations, we have to span the globe with all of the hot spots that the Trump administration is having to address, from sanctions against Russia to sanctions against Venezuelan dictator Maduro.
Yeah, and this morning they arrested 2 opposition leaders, grabbed them in the middle of the night and took them out.
But it's better than the murdering them in the streets that they were doing earlier over the weekend, I suppose. Obviously you have just civil disintegration in Venezuela. The Venezuelan miracle. That's Salon.com. David Sorotka and Salon.com was just writing a few years ago. The Venezuelan economic miracle. Bernie Sanders. That's the Bernie Sanders model over there. Take a good, hard look. Mike Pence in the Baltic states talking about Russia as well, with the presidents of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. And then, of course, the threat that North Korea poses with their ongoing missile tests. And no one better to help us make sense of it all, the threats and the opportunities, than our friend Michael Rubin, of course, resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute, author of a number of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising, former Pentagon official. Michael Rubin, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
So, where should we start? How about Russian sanctions? Now that the mooch is gone and his silliness with him, we're back to, I think, where we started at a week ago, which is President Trump is going to sign the Russian sanctions bill that was put on his desk with overwhelming bipartisan congressional majorities support in tow. And Putin has responded by expelling hundreds of diplomatic staff and suggesting he's going to seize embassy property in Russia. You had Pence in the Baltics yesterday talking about the unpredictability of Russia and that America stands with the Baltic states as well as our EU and NATO allies. Give us your handle on where, forgetting the Russian collusion business, the geopolitical national security matter between Russia and America stands.
Well, the sanctions date back not only to the allegations of Russian interference in the U.S. elections, but also to the fact that they had invaded the Ukraine, and they annexed Crimea, which even the Russian government, before Vladimir Putin, recognized as Ukrainian territory. It means absolutely nothing to say that there's ethnic Russians there, because, there's ethnic Russians everywhere. We wouldn't want Russia invading Brighton Beach in New York City.
Right.
Now, the sanctions which were passed overwhelmingly, so honestly it doesn't matter whether President Trump signs them or not, because they would become law anyway.
Optically, though, it does.
Oh, optically, of course it does. But in this case, they sanctioned Russian energy firms, and they basically upped the sanctions that were already in place with regard to Russian actions in the Ukraine, among other places. Now, Russia responded, as you said, by saying that the United States needs to cut more than 700, I think it was 755 diplomatic staff, and that includes not only American diplomats, that also includes the Russians answering the phones at the American embassies and consulates and so forth. Now, what I would basically argue is, fine, the Russia's coming up with this number in order to have parity, but if Russia wants parity, let's keep in mind that they have more consulates in the United States than we have consulates in Russia. So maybe it's time that the Russians close either San Francisco or Seattle, because also, let's be frank, Dan and Amy, they only use those consulates for industrial espionage anyway against Silicon Valley and our high-tech computer outlets up in the Seattle area. The other thing we could do is say, fine, we're going to continue doing the business that America needs to do with regard to our diplomatic interests, but if we've got to cut people, then we're going to cut the staff that have been issuing Russians visas, Russian oligarchs' kids and so forth, visas to come to Disneyland. I mean, there's ways to do this where it simply doesn't hurt as much as perhaps Vladimir Putin thinks it will hurt.
Well, should our rhetoric become a little bit more bellicose, or maybe a better way to say this, should we have the president and the vice president speaking with moral clarity on the topic? Mike Pence yesterday, even while offering that statement of support for our allies in the Baltics and the EU and NATO, also said, we want better relations with Russia. We want to improve our relations all the time. Now, of course, nobody wants to be saber-rattling for war, but I just go back to Reagan characterizing the Soviet Union as the evil empire. Do we need some bright lines drawn by this administration?
Well, Mike Pence has been doing a great job of actually getting the balance right. It's important to recognize that and for Russia to recognize that we're going to stand up for our allies. I mean, there's an old Onion article, that satirical newspaper, that has Condoleezza Rice lecturing, warning American allies not to border Russia. That's not what our foreign policy should be in the real world. The fact of the matter is, we need to make clear to the Russians that we are going to stand by NATO members, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, and they can't encroach on them the way they've been encroaching on Ukraine or Georgia. It's in our interest, for the sake of peace, to make sure that Russia does know where that red line is. We don't want to be careless with the idea of red lines or simply abandon them the way that President Obama did in Syria, because in such a case that could actually encourage more bellicosity on the part of Russia. But you're absolutely right. We should be extending that olive branch, saying that we're acting a certain way in reaction to what you are. We've got to stop self-flagellating and recognize the problem isn't Washington, it's the Kremlin.
So do you think if we move over now to North Korea, should there be some rhetoric between President Trump and Kim Jong-un? Is that a possibility, or how do you think that this, now, because on Friday they launched another ICBM that we've learned could reach the lower 48 states. So what are we doing? What is Trump doing to protect us and the American citizens?
Well, Amy, first of all, when it comes to rhetoric, I mean, it's a daily staple of North Korea to just have the most bombastic rhetoric out there. I've always been surprised that people then get so shocked if the United States responds in kind, because after all, if North Korea is doing it every day, it really doesn't kill anyone for the United States to basically say, we're not going to be pushovers in whatever style we do it. You can't simply scare us into shaking loose another $1 billion, which has been the policy ever since the Clinton administration. Now, what we are doing is putting more military assets in the region. For example, carrier strike groups, long-range bombers. We have been shoring up South Korean defenses with anti-missile systems, the way that Israel has anti-missile systems to protect against the rockets that come in from Gaza. The real weakness, if you will, or the vulnerability of South Korea is that Seoul, the capital, has millions of people. It looks like Chicago. It's a very modern city. Is within range of North Korean artillery on three sides, which means North Korea can wreak havoc just by lobbing shells at it. Now, what we're also worried, and the reason we're worried, is that more than a quarter century of diplomacy hasn't seemed to curtail North Korea's weapons program, and now people either say that North Korean nuclear weapons can hit Hawaii and Alaska. That's the good scenario, or half the United States, and that's what we need to worry about. There's a tendency in the United States very quickly to breathe a sigh of relief every time there's a failed missile test on the part of North Korea, Iran, or any one of our other adversaries. This politics of procrastination doesn't work because scientists can learn just as much from a failed test as from a successful test.
Well, then what should be done? South Korea clamoring for nukes of their own.
Well, after that's the nightmare scenario, or perhaps not such a nightmare scenario, simply because South Korea is starting to take its defense in its own hands. Now, no one wants proliferation, but the fact of the matter is, we wouldn't have this proliferation if it weren't for the persistent threat from North Korea. Now, where Donald Trump has come in is to question whether we should be continuing with the policies which have arguably led us astray over the last quarter century, and that is working through China to try to bring North Korea to heel. On paper, it makes perfect sense, but again, if you look over the past 25 years, it simply hasn't worked. We've given China tremendous benefits. We've waived licenses and such on dual-use technology just to get China to play ball in North Korea. And instead of playing ball productively, Dan, it looks like China, Beijing, has been playing good cop, bad cop, taking what they can from us while telling North Korea with a nod and a wink to go ahead. That's what Donald Trump is reacting against when he says how disappointed he is in China.
Well, right, and there's no dealing with the spawn of a man who said he shot 18, or he said he shot. I think he said he had 11 holes in one in his first round of golf. Kim Jong-il.
Oh, please.
I mean, there's never there's no diplomatic path for somebody that speaks about golf in that way.
I mean, well, this is a country where his greatest enemies commit suicide with 3 shots to the head.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, they really wanted to commit suicide. Switching over to our hemisphere and South America and Venezuela, sanctions imposed on the bus driver dictator in charge of what used to be Venezuela. Where does that go? What exactly are our interests in Venezuela other than humanitarian?
Well, first of all, let's take a step back for a second. It's important to recognize that just a couple decades ago, Venezuela was the wealthiest country in South America, and every single high school student and college student who goes around wearing Che Guevara T-shirts and so forth should look at Venezuela and recognize this is what socialism does. It takes countries and it ruins them. People are getting shot in the streets. So a lot of this has to do with human rights, but Venezuela has increasingly been supporting terrorist groups. It's been supporting groups that destabilize others. It's been working with Iran. It's been working with Palestinian terrorists like Hamas. And we don't want it destabilizing countries which have really turned themselves around, like Colombia.
Well, but do you think we'll have sanctions against Venezuela?
Well, we have the
we put on sanctions with regard to the leadership of Venezuela. And, a lot of people have been saying, why is the United States standing aside as things get so bad? Just one thing, Dan and Amy. I mean, people always talk about climate change and so forth, and they always talk about drought. What many people forget is the difference between drought and famine is drought is weather-made, where famine is man-made, usually by poor governance. And what we're seeing now, Venezuela has gotten so bad that there's actually a chance of famine, that there's people starving in the streets in Venezuela simply because the government has become so dysfunctional.
He is Michael Rubin, resident scholar for the American Enterprise Institute, author of a number of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Forecast for today, partly sunny skies, a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 68. And tomorrow, we're going to have some sun, shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, a high of 82. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Eden's inbound, just a little sluggish approaching the junction. The Kennedy has inbound delays out of the River Road till to Central. 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 21. Little heavy on westbound 190 approaching the Tri-State. The Eisenhower runs 38 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 31. Stevenson now 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan 24 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge, mission 422. Northbound Tri-State, we see slow pockets now, 87th to the 83rd Street toll, 47th to 31st. And from the Eisenhower to North Avenue, Adams Tollway heavy approaching to Kennedy. Reagan Tollway slow Orchard to Randall after a crash. Eastbound I-80 and I-55, there's a crash blocking the left lane. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
For 5 years, I was with this other company, and I tried everything, and it was costing me a fortune. And on top of that, it wasn't working. And I said, ever since I've taken this product, I have kissed that goodbye. Matter of fact, I said, this has been the first winter that I have gone through without a flu or nothing.
Last year, I started on the Balance of Nature. I'm telling you, it really built me up, and it really helped me.
My cholesterol went down. Only after taking it 1 month, I went down 20 points.
I feel better already with it. I just feel it's made my life more predictable, more useful.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Go to our website, greatparkinglots.com. Check it out, greatparkinglots.com.
Go to greatparkinglots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of greatparkinglots.com. greatparkinglots.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Call me hopeful but skeptical when it comes to what General John Kelly will bring to the White House. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, Joe Cocker.
Stop. I think it's getting a little better, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds
no,
good.
he's like a songbird now.
Did you hear what happened yesterday? During our show, something amazing happened. Something incredible, unprecedented.
Oh, boy.
Tom Ricketts, Theo Epstein, and Crane Kenny from the Chicago Cubs met with Steve Bartman in an undisclosed location and gave him a 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series ring worth almost $80,000. It was the
a lot
way
of diamonds in that bad
yeah,
boy.
a lot of diamonds, but it was a way of exonerating Steve Bartman. You know,
exonerating him from what?
Oh, because he's the number one hated fan in Chicago.
No,
because
he's not.
people still blame him
they
for the World Series loss.
Does anybody still blame Steve Bartman? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-3668, turnkey.pro text line. Does anybody still blame Steve Bartman 14 years later after a World Series championship? And also, a corollary, why is Steve Bartman still at an undisclosed location? What threat is he under? It's silly.
Well, he received death threats.
This is becoming like urban myth.
Well, he had death threats for 14 years. Every year he gets a death threat.
That's ridiculous.
I talk to his attorney all the time.
I don't care. I don't buy it. It's silly.
Well,
I don't buy it.
Also, too, he's avoiding the media.
Yeah, I know. That's part of it. That's
That
part
is
of the
part of it.
undisclosed location, avoiding the media. It's getting a little lame. Just,
Well,
He's been invited to Wrigley Field to end this once and for all.
Right.
I mean, this is becoming something where I question whether Steve Bartman is doing this to add to his own mystique. I know I felt terrible for the kid when it happened. It wasn't his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. He's not a villain. He wasn't responsible for the Cubs losing the 2003 NLCS. And he doesn't deserve everything that happened to him up until a point. And I understand that he's a guy who didn't want to be in the spotlight, didn't want to talk to media, and I certainly understand that in the wake of what happened.
But
14 years later, after all that's transpired, this is just kind of almost part of like a Cubs PR campaign that Steve Bartman's involved in.
But he might not even know it. They're trying to pay him off. They're trying to give him a gift.
What are you talking about?
I think that they're giving him this gracious gift so that he will come back to Wrigley and throw out the first pitch.
He should do that. He should do that.
All right. Well,
why not?
Season ticket holders are like, where's my ring? Why didn't we get a ring? Why Steve Bartman? I mean, that is
seriously?
the most generous gift ever. But Joe Maddon's excited, so is Kerry Wood.
I think it's great. I think symbolically it should ease a lot of his pain. And I'm glad that we took the step to do that.
Text from 6-year-old Moises Alou does. No, actually, Moises Alou doesn't think Steve Bartman was responsible. In point of fact, a couple years after the fact, Moises Alou was asked about it, and he said, no, Steve Bartman wasn't responsible. I wouldn't have caught it anyway. That's what Moises Alou said. Well, so, I mean, the fact that we have to litigate this in this silly town 14 years later, I guess, is why I just described this as a silly town. And the fact that season ticket holders like you are saying, where's my World Series ring? Really? You want to process the logic of that statement? Come on.
Well, yeah, and Moises Alou, there was a 30-30 that they did on ESPN that was great. And he said, I was angry at the time, but we gave up 8 runs in the 8th inning. That's why we lost the game.
No kidding.
Yeah.
This just in.
Kerry Wood.
I think it's good to put that to bed, and obviously we've won, so we can all move on.
Well, not all of us, apparently. Not Joe Cocker over here. She can't move on.
No, I have tried to get Steve Bartman for 14 years now to do an interview, and he will not do it. He lives out in the suburbs.
I've noticed he has not done any interviews. Yeah,
well,
I got it.
One ESPN reporter caught him in the parking lot on his way to work.
That's
and
not
talked
an
to him
interview.
for a little bit. Oh, it made big news. Steve Bartman speaks, but it wasn't. I know he goes to Notre Dame football games and wears a hat.
Great. Well, you can continue stalking Steve Bartman for the rest of your days. I couldn't be less interested. The kid wants to live his life away from the limelight. I mean, a limelight he never asked for. Fine. Whatever. He wants to just do his job and live his life quietly or whatever. Fine. But all of this, so to some extent, I blame him less, with the exception of, come back to the Cubs. Come back to the, what do they call it, Wrigley Field?
Yeah.
Come back to Wrigley Field, throw out the first pitch, be celebrated, and just end it.
Well, he released a statement saying, although I do not consider myself worthy of such an honor, I'm deeply moved and sincerely grateful to receive an official Chicago Cubs 2016 World Series championship ring.
Yeah.
And you could read his whole, 4-paragraph statement.
Yes, I do. I want to read every word of it. It's so fascinating. I mean, honestly, what the hell is wrong with you Cubs fans?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today's IT department is more than just a person fixing your computer or protecting you from viruses and hackers. It's helping people, and that's what Turnkey IT does. Real people helping your business.
Hello, my name is Phil. I am a network technician at Turnkey IT. There's not a lot of IT companies that are 24/7. Some of them are just 9 to 5, and anything after that is a charge, or they just wait until the next day to get back to you. But here, if somebody calls in after hours, we're going to jump on it and try to take care of it as soon as possible. We're extremely well organized. We have a process for everything, and we do our absolute best to take care of everyone and make them happy and do whatever it takes to keep them happy.
Take control of your business's network and important data with Turnkey IT. You'll have protection against ransomware and have rock-solid backups in place no matter what problems arise. All of their plans protect against viruses and troublesome ransomware. Visit turnkey.pro today and be secure. turnkey.pro.
Join me, that's Dan Proft, that's me, and Kane County Chairman Chris Lausen for his Summer Volunteer Appreciation Barbecue. It's happening this Saturday, August 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. in Aurora. Enjoy Faye's barbecue pork chops and chicken while meeting new friends. There is no chance of rain out. There's no chance of a rain out, since it will be all indoors. For more information and to purchase tickets, please send an inquiry to campaign@lausen.com. That's campaign@LAUZEN.com.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Steve on 88 asking, hey, Dan, do the Sox offer White Sox ring to the first base umpire who got attacked at Comiskey? No, but appropriately they did offer White Sox rings to the Legee father and son.
Oh, sure they did.
And they
offered him haircuts to get rid of the mullets.
The Legee boys play tough. They play hard. They play the game the way it was intended to be played.
It was such a bad look. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Procter & Gamble's The Talk. Wait till you get a load of their new ad campaign at 6:36.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 69 degrees. Skies are cloudy right now and winds out of the south-southwest in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. This morning, 2 U.S. soldiers suffered minor injuries when their Black Hawk helicopter made a hard landing in eastern Afghanistan. The incident blamed on a mechanical issue. The White House explaining how former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci's exit after just 10 days came about. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
He does not have a role at this time in the Trump administration, and we put out a statement earlier announcing that, and I don't have much else to add beyond that.
Press Secretary Huckabee Sanders saying in a briefing that the president found his profane comments in a recent interview with a reporter inappropriate. Meantime, the president is praising his new chief of staff for doing a wonderful job running the Department of Homeland Security.
The border was a tremendous problem, and now close to 80% stoppage, and even the president of Mexico called me. They said their southern border, very few people are coming because they know they're not going to get through our border.
John Kelly sworn in at the White House yesterday. Allies of 2 Venezuelan opposition leaders say Leopoldo Lopez and Antonio Ledesma have been taken by authorities from homes where they were under arrest. The White House announcing new sanctions on Venezuela.
All assets of Maduro subject to U.S. jurisdiction are frozen, and U.S. persons are prohibited from dealing with him.
In a briefing yesterday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says sanctions are being directed at Maduro, a dictator, says Mnuchin, who disregards the will of the Venezuelan people. Los Angeles will host the Olympics for the 3rd time. L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti says the deal forged with the IOC to take the games in 2028 was way too good to pass up. Mayor Emanuel's office projecting a budget deficit for 2018 of just over $114 million. It's not known how the mayor plans to fill that gap. The frontrunner in the Democratic field for governor says he wants to turn Illinois into the center of the resistance to President Trump. Candidate J.B. Pritzker yesterday vowed to stand up to the president. Prosecutors in Henry County want to charge a 17-year-old as an adult who has admitted to slashing a puppy's throat. Henry County State's Attorney Matt Schuette last week asked a judge to move that case against the 17-year-old from juvenile court to adult court. There's no word right now on when the judge may rule. White Sox top the Blue Jays 7-6. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks at Wrigley. And the news is a service of Accountemps. In today's economy, highly skilled accounting and finance pros can be hard to find. As the leader in specialized temporary staffing, Accountemps provide top accounting and finance talent where and when you need it most. Visit Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes the GOP is fighting a tough battle.
I'm distressed because the Republican Party is up against the greatest addiction in the country. Addiction to benefits. The drug is benefits. You become so addicted to it that it becomes impossible to change. Impossible. This is how governments collapse.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-4133. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-4133. Again, that's 1-800-600-4133.
6:36 and a check of our roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Latest on the morning commute with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing lots of slow pockets on the northbound tri-state. First from I-57 to Kedzie, then from 95th to the 83rd Street Toll Plaza. Farther north, it's heavier from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Eisenhower to the Grand Avenue curve. The Adams Tollway is fine. Reagan Tollway a little slow. Farnsworth to Viola. Veterans Memorial still okay. It's getting a little sluggish around 88th at Reagan Tollway. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 21. At Kennedy, 38 minutes now from O'Hare to downtown, outbound 24. About Eisenhower, 42 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 32. Stevenson, 59 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41. Ryan is 24 minutes from 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the Napa Legend battery comes with a prepaid Visa card, which worth $15 by mail. So start every drive with a Legend and save yourself some money with the Napa Legend battery. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Partial sunshine today, high of 84. Partly cloudy and 68 overnight. 69 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan. And sitting in for Amy this morning is Bonnie Tyler.
Stop it.
Love her work.
Don't make me sing Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Exactly. Procter & Gamble, big company, manufacturer of Cascade, Febreze, Mr. Clean, Tide.
Everything I buy.
Exactly. They've got a new ad out. It's called The Talk. New ad campaign.
Oh, is that a new bar of soap line?
No, The Talk is not a new bar soap. It's an ad campaign that features scenes of black parents spanning the generations from, say, the 50s forward, having these conversations with their kids You ready for this?
Okay.
Who said that?
The lady at the store.
That is not a compliment.
Listen, it's an ugly, nasty word, and you are going to hear it. Nothing I can do about that. But you are not going to let that word hurt you. You hear me? There are some people who think you don't deserve the same privileges just because of what you look like. It's not fair. It's not. Remember, you can do anything they can. Difference is you gotta work twice as hard and be twice as smart.
Come straight home after practice. You got your ID? Guess I stopped you. How's your review?
We're good.
You good?
Yeah,
You see?
we're good.
Okay, good. Now, when you get pulled over,
I'm a good driver. Okay?
baby,
Don't worry.
this is not about you getting a ticket. This is about you not coming home.
I'm gonna be okay. Right? Okay.
It's not fair. But you keep showing up.
You are not pretty for a black girl. You are beautiful, period. Okay? Don't ever forget that.
The Leonard Bernstein accompaniment notwithstanding, what do you think about the substance of that ad campaign? 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA turnkey.pro text line. The ad is part of Procter & Gamble's My Black is Beautiful campaign, which is promoted with the hashtag #TalkAboutBias on social media. The comm person for P&G said, these real-life conversations about conscious and unconscious bias are too common in homes across the country and weigh heavily on parents and children of many different backgrounds, although it was just black families that were featured. We take seriously the opportunity to spark dialogue on what we can do to put an end to the harmful effects of bias and motivate true change. First, we had Race Together at Starbucks. Now we have The Talk from P&G. What say you, Miss Tyler?
Well, I'm not offended by this at all. I mean, we don't know about the black experience. I have African American friends who tell me how they had to drink out of different faucets. Eddie Banks at NBC, I'll never forget, he said he lived in Miami, and when he grew up, he had to drink out of a separate faucet. He wasn't angry about it. It was just a fact.
I'm familiar with Jim Crow,
Yeah,
as we all are.
I think that this is fine. I think that this is a great commercial. I
When
think it's
the-
a great ad campaign, excuse me.
When the young black girl is in the car with her mom, and the mom is talking about, I want you to come home. We'll talk about when you get pulled over. Mom, I'm a good driver. This is not about a ticket. This is about you coming home.
There was a string of African Americans that were unarmed who had been shot. So, yes, if I was a parent of a black child, I would tell them too. But I would also tell my children anyway, if you get
Right.
pulled over, put your hands up on the dashboard and listen
Yeah,
to the police officer.
That's not the issue. The issue is what's in that ad. You think that inspires compliance? You think that inspires an understanding that the police are on your side as a general matter, or does it underscore the notion that's promulgated by Black Lives Matter and other leftist agitators that the police are out hunting black people? Which does that do?
No, it shows that police are out hunting black people. Yeah.
So that's a good ad campaign, is it?
I-
That's what you want to instill in young people, with the sentimentality that's replete throughout that ad.
I'm going to definitely show it to my kids when I get home.
What is? I don't know what that means.
That means we don't know, again, about the black experience. I can't sit here and say, oh, this is awful and it's racist. It's historical, and it has happened to certain families.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Yes, we're all very well aware of the ignominious racist history of this country, from slavery to Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm.
That is not in dispute. These are modern conversations. These are post-1964 Civil Rights Act conversations we're talking about in this Procter & Gamble ad. So, let's get beyond the sophistry of, yes, there were separate drinking fountains. Yes, it was terrible, and it was a government institution, as was slavery. So can we get beyond that silliness? Or do you want to just give in to the sentimentality of talk about bias with soft music behind it? Just like getting lectured by your barista about race relations.
That was fun.
No, seriously? And by the way, the black experience, you're right. You're not black and I'm not black. I got that.
Mm-hmm. Although you said you were black in the gubernatorial debate.
True. I was born a little poor black child, just like all those other Republicans. Do you have to experience something to comment on it? Do you?
The only point of contention I have with it is the N-word, because more musicians use the N-word, and they embrace that. But if a white person uses the N-word, it's bad, which is fine. I will never use the N-word. I will never want my children to use the N-word.
Yeah, the N-word is ignorant, no matter who uses it. The context is different. I get the context is different when some black rapper uses it to try and be street as compared to when somebody else uses it as a statement of hate. I get that, but it's an ignorant word regardless. So I'll take the answer to my question. Do you have to experience something to comment on it as no, because that is the correct answer. By the way, speaking of experiencing, Adam Carolla, he's white. He's a comedian now and a bit of a podcast sensation. Adam Carolla testified before Congress yesterday about what's happening on college campuses. Let's have that talk. And the focus on white privilege and inculcating the pernicious notion of white privilege that it's just about skin color. Wait, isn't that what Procter & Gamble is railing against? It's just about skin color? But then that's what's being taught by academics, not just at the collegiate level, but in K-12 too. And here's what Adam Carolla had to say about his white privilege.
I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps, and I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it, and I was standing in line, and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line, and I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago, and she said, Wednesday. That is an example of my white privilege. I think it's an economic privilege more than it is the color of your skin.
So where's the P&G campaign for Adam Carolla's stories with the sentimental music bed? Huh? Bob in Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, this crap makes my head want to explode. I listen to you guys in the morning because I think you're smart as all get out, and I wished I had your mind. What I want you to do is I want you to make a commercial for middle-aged white guys and how good we have it. Since I've been working for the last 17 years at 40% less than I was making in the year 2000. My kids, you told me it was no big deal when my daughter, who was the valedictorian of Waukegan High School, couldn't get into Northwestern because she was too white. My other daughter couldn't get into preschool in special programs because she wasn't Hispanic. Seriously, this is so screwed up. They should stick. What they need to do is stay woke and get their heads out of their butts and actually be human beings and do what Martin Luther King said, that people should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. I mean, I've been working my rear end off. I'm 63 years old. I've been working since I was 13 years old. I've never been in jail except for a speeding ticket, which I didn't have the money to pay for in 1972. This is totally ridiculous. I've helped black people, Hispanic people, green, yellow, pink people, any straggler I see on the side who asks me for $1, I can't not give it to them because I've been working 60 hours a week to get my family where they are now. You know what my retirement is? Zero. I have zero retirement. I put 4 kids through college, only partially paying for them because I couldn't get all the special treatment that you get when you're black, white, Hispanic. When my daughter went to school, they asked me if me and my wife were divorced when we showed up for the meeting, and we said no. And the counselor said, "Well, that's too bad. You could get a lot of money if you were divorced."
Yeah.
So great. You live your life. You do what's right. And the American government doesn't give 2 craps about you, especially the last administration, who would rather give all the money that Americans are making and working their butts off to illegals than he would to pack it into our retirement or the betterment of disabled people in America. So thank you for letting me rant.
No, thanks for the call, Bob. I get it. Totally get it. Ross in Elmhurst.
Oh, hi, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Amy, honey, lemon, and a little warm water for your throat, kiddo.
Thank you.
Okay, Stevie Nicks.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I do like the dusty voice. Anyway, see here, and I'm listening, and I believe a lot of it, I think the same way a lot of the people have been saying when they call, okay? The only problem is I look at it, but my aspect too is that I look at it as though this is all contrived and it's been purposeful in its use of people, of our fellow citizens, to gain power and control. And
Absolutely. That's absolutely what it is. Absolutely what it is. Thanks for the call, Ross. That is absolutely what it is. We've said it a million times on this show. In your daily life, as you encounter people of different races and the whole diversity of America, do you ever have a problem based somebody because of their race or some other non-behavioral characteristic, their religious affiliation or whatever? I don't. I can't think of a confrontation I've had about race. I've had debates about it, and in a setting that's conducive to talking about these things or debating things on a college campus or wherever, but never. In our actual everyday lives in 2017 America, I think most people get along pretty well with people that are different than them. But then you have interests that are served by divide, because it brings power to them. I mean, and it's not just the race hustlers like Jesse Jackson. It's corporate America sophists like Procter & Gamble, too.
But I think it was featuring the black experience beginning in the 1940s to the 50s.
No, I know.
To current.
And, nobody can really speak to the black experience with more clarity and historical perspective than Procter & Gamble.
Mr. Clean.
Give me a break. Damien in Pilsen.
Hi, yes. I'm actually Latino or Hispanic or however you want to classify me.
Okay.
Now, I think that this just constantly serves just to perpetuate the racial divide that is going on here that is pretty much non-existent to everybody. Nobody really sees race anymore. Nobody really sees, who's black, who's white. Yes, you can understand who is black, who is white, but nobody really cares anymore. But when these ads come out, it only serves to put out there that, there is some kind of racial disparity, which I've been working since the 90s, and I've never experienced that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't have the black experience, but I have the Latino experience.
That's not good enough. You didn't get into Procter & Gamble. Maybe next year, Damien. Maybe next year if you play your cards right. Thanks for the call. Look, I mean, that's what this is a political agenda, plain and simple. It's a political agenda that foments entitlement, that foments victimization. And how empowering is that? That's the talk. Let's have that talk. Let's have that talk, Procter & Gamble, but invite people like me in too. So we have the broad talk, and we have the talk about where your sentimentality leads. To paraphrase Flannery O'Connor, it leads to the unemployment line, like in the worst-run city in America, Chicago, with the highest black unemployment rate in the country. Let's have that talk, Procter & Gamble.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. A blow to Sprint from Charter Communications. Uber is launching a new credit card, and Los Angeles lands the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. Those stories next.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-975-5115. 800-975-5115. That's 800-975-5115.
July ended on a down note for wireless carrier Sprint. Cable giant Charter announced it has no plans to buy Sprint, the fourth largest U.S. carrier. Published reports say Sprint had proposed an acquisition, but Charter said no. The two also had talked about a merger during the previous Obama administration, but none occurred. Economic reports we're watching today include updates on personal income and construction spending, plus the latest figures on motor vehicle sales. Uber is launching its own credit card in partnership with British bank Barclays. Uber will become the first ride-sharing company with a co-branded credit card. Rewards earned will generate free rides. And Los Angeles will host the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
There's so much to look forward to as the weather gets warmer. Outdoor sports and activities, backyard parties, and graduations. For your next celebration, party, or get-together, leave the eats to Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli. Whether it's around your table or theirs, Augie's is the place where sports teams, families, and friends celebrate with great food at a great price for almost 40 years. Try their signature subs, freshly made and fully loaded with the highest quality meats and cheese. Or choose from their fresh, never-frozen half-pound Angus beef burgers, authentic homemade Italian beef sandwiches, hand-rolled meatballs, pizza, and fresh salads. Dine in surrounded by authentic rock and roll memorabilia, or phone ahead for orders to go. Whatever works for your team, Augie's offers fast, fresh, affordable food, designed to make your special time with friends and family simple and easy. Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli in Carroll Stream or West Chicago. Don't forget to check out their extensive catering menu at augustinos.com. This season, let the good times happen with Augustino's Rock and Roll Deli.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. President Trump is a fighter. He is a counterintuitive counterpuncher, said Trump's mini-me, Scaramucci. Those are nice euphemisms, but what I see lately from Trump is wild, overhand, looping punches, not Floyd Mayweather Jr. The quality of the fight, the why and the how, matters. If it is to courageously and consistently make the case for policies in furtherance of first principles, that is a good fight. If it is to use temper tantrums as tactics to blame shift responsibility for predicaments onto subordinates and independent allies, that is not a good fight. Trump still conveys an understanding of who he is fighting for, but his public ridicule of A.G. Sessions and tolerance of the cartoonish antics of his communications director/impersonator will erode his base support if both do not stop. If, as Sun Tzu argued, the art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting, Trump's public fighting with his allies, through his enemies in the D.C. press corps no less, is subduing his chances for a successful presidency. Public spectacles are not necessary to identify and root out enemies inside the president's perimeter as needed. The first rule of Political Fight Club: don't tweet about it.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield, plus major components of 20 other home systems and appliances, like his electrical system, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-3861. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-300-3861. That's 1-800-300-3861. 1-800-300-3861.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He made an impression. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. But Anthony Scaramucci didn't last long at the White House, out after just 11 days as communications director.
As retired Marine General John Kelly establishes order at the White House, showing the communications director the door. The change brings a new chain of command. Everyone goes through Kelly now. Even Steve Bannon, Jared Kushner, and daughter Ivanka Trump will answer to him. As for Scaramucci, the White House says he will not have a role in the administration, as the president felt his comments were inappropriate.
And Fox's Griff Jenkins referencing a profanity-filled interview last week when Scaramucci was critical of senior staffers. Days after Republicans failed again to unite on a plan to replace Obamacare in the Senate, they can't agree on what to do next and when. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, several Republican leaders say they see no clear path to the votes they need to pass health care legislation, even as President Trump continues to prod them into action. Senator Lindsey Graham isn't ready to give up, telling Fox News,
"We should be politically horsewhipped if we don't try again."
White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney has made TV appearances calling on lawmakers to keep trying. Senate Majority Whip John Cornyn says Mulvaney has a big job and they ought to do that job and let us do our jobs. Senator Roy Blunt of Missouri says it's time to move on to something else. Dave.
Rachel, he's still on the run. The last of the 12 Alabama prisoners who escaped in a jiff. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Dave, Brady Kilpatrick is the one sheriff's deputies are still looking for, and now we know how the inmates used peanut butter from jail sandwiches to escape. They used it to change the number above one cell to the number that identifies the door leading outside. Then they tricked a new jail guard into opening the door. Took them less than 10 minutes to clear that barbed wire fence outside, Dave.
Tony, the trial starts today for a white former St. Louis police officer, Jason Stockley, charged with murder in the 2011 shooting of a black suspect after a chase. A key issue, if a gun found in the suspect's car was planted by the cop. Fox News, fair and balanced.
69 degrees. We have some clouds this morning at 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. City of Chicago on pace this year to exceed the number of killings in 2016. Citywide murder total was 407 as of yesterday. Last year, the city didn't reach 400 killings until October 1st. Mayor Emanuel's office projecting a budget deficit for the city, just over $114 million in the 2018 budget. The administration, however, touted that figure, saying it's the lowest since 2007. The next move in the school funding showdown is Governor Rouners, after lawmakers Monday finally sent him a funding reform bill that he is vowing to change. As AM 560's David Stewart reports.
Governor Rouners promising to use his amendatory veto to cut out funding in the bill intended for Chicago teachers' pensions. Mayor Emanuel and other Democrat leaders want Rauner to sign the bill as is rather than start the override process.
This is a 4-decade-long effort to finally do what people for years have been talking about doing. I believe there will be Democrat and Republican support for this, as there was for passing it originally.
A Rauner veto would start the clock on a 2-week override process that will at least delay state funding for school districts. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Around 2,000 auto mechanics around Chicagoland are on strike. Members of the Automobile Mechanics Local 701 hit the picket lines this morning after contract negotiations stalled. The work stoppage only affects about 130 car dealerships in the area. No one hurt following a massive garage fire in suburban St. Charles. Nearly 20 departments responded to that blaze. Police are searching for a man who robbed and sexually assaulted a woman at gunpoint over the weekend in Aurora. The authorities investigating say the attack happened Saturday in an alley. The suspect took off with an undisclosed amount of cash. Matt Davidson, a walk-off hit for the second straight game. White Sox top the Blue Jays 7-6. Cubs open up a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks at Wrigley Field this evening. The news service of NTB. Get your 5-quart conventional oil change today, just $19.99 plus $3 disposal fee. For tires, oil service, and repairs, National Tire and Battery. That's all you need. 7:04, it's time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. And a check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, it's Jim. I can't take your call right now. I'm digging for oil in my basement to help pay for my family's mobile bill. A little crazy, you say? You try getting a data plan that has enough gigs for my family. And I thought braces were expensive. We definitely need a switch.
Stuck in a dysfunctional family plan? Switch to Boost Best Family Plan right now and get 4 lines for just $25 per line, each with unlimited gigs. With Metro PCS, you only get 2 gigs per line for the same price. Plus, switch today and get up to 4 free phones, all on the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Offer ends 9/10/17. Requires 1 line to port in. Lines include unlimited data, talk, and text. Video streams optimized at up to 480p plus resolution. Music up to 500 kilobits per second and cloud gaming up to 2 megabits per second. Data deprioritization applies during congestion. Comparison based on Metro PCS's 2 GB promo plan as of 4/25/17. For additional details, visit their website. Free phones while supplies last. Requires port in and activation on $100 plan. Coverage and offers not available everywhere. Restrictions apply.
One call could decide your child's future. We're Mathnasium Learning Centers, the world's specialist in teaching math. We began with a powerful idea. Teach kids math the way that makes sense to them, and kids will actually enjoy math. They'll do more of it, leading to higher and higher levels of mastery. Today, Mathnasium has 700 franchised locations. Find yours at mathnasium.com and make the call that could decide your child's future. Mathnasium, we make math make sense.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT, home, safe home.
.706 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy, traffic is heavy from Cumberland most of the way to Armitage, then through downtown Madison into the Circle. It is 34 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 16 from Montrose, same in the Express. Outbound 11 minutes to Montrose and 30 to the airport. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 23. Mount Eisenhower, 41 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 34. Inbound Stevenson is an hour and 4 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 47 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 46 minutes to 3:55. Inbound Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 20 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State delays, Harlem to LaGrange Road. From the mile-long bridge to the Hinsdale Oasis and Roosevelt to past North Avenue. But Adams Tollway heavy from Lee to the Tri-State. There's a crash on the ramp to northbound 294. Reagan Tollway's cleared up now. Northbound Veterans Memorial heavy from 63rd most of the way to Roosevelt and from the Army Trail toll to Lake. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partly sunny, high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. Clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon. Tomorrow, high 82. Then a mainly cloudy night, low 67. A thunderstorm in the area which could be strong Thursday, high 82. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 69. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and in for Amy, a special guest this morning. You know who he is. Here, let me just give you a little hint. We loved him as kids growing up.
Yeah, there's this girl who moved in across the street, and she came over because she wanted to play. But don't worry, I got back at her. What'd you do? I whipped out my lizard.
Yeah, you remember Froggy from the Little Rascals. Froggy, thanks so much for joining us this morning. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, all right.
You know what? That's a good one. I think it's getting better. I have an upper respiratory infection that moved into my sinuses in the back of my throat, so...
Can barely notice.
No. You can't tell, can you?
No.
I mean...
No. Boy, I wouldn't have known unless you said something.
But Froggy's good.
Yeah. Again, and feel free to join in the ridicule of Amy. Let's have some fun at her expense and her dilapidated state. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 646-360-A, turnkey.pro. Text line. We were also accepting home remedies. We've gotten some strange ones, some ones that sound potentially lethal, but we'll take them nonetheless.
I Googled hydrogen peroxide. You should never put hydrogen peroxide in your mouth.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that you should.
Here's a favor for you. I got a text message, apple cider vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
You want to give me my bottle back?
Apple cider vinegar. I don't know if that'll help with the...
Oh, warm water and apple cider vinegar is supposed to be really good for your throat. Do you still have the bottle that I gave you for your diet?
No, because it's...
Did you chug it?
No, because it's specious.
What do you can clean your bathtub with that
Well,
stuff.
yeah, it's good for that. It's not good for losing weight. With diet and exercise, like everything. I mean, silly. All right, so General Kelly is in. He was introduced in his first cabinet meeting, not his first cabinet meeting attending, but his first cabinet meeting as chief of staff by the president.
Good morning. This is our first cabinet meeting with General Kelly. He will be chief of staff, as you know. We all know him. We respect him, admire what he's done. And at Homeland, what he has done has been nothing short of miraculous. As you know, the border was a tremendous problem, and now close to 80% stoppage. And even the president of Mexico called me. They said their southern border, very few people are coming because they know they're not going to get through our border, which is the ultimate compliment. So I just want to congratulate him on the great job he's done with Homeland Security, and I have no doubt that he will be an absolutely superb chief of staff.
So in comes General Flynn, and of course the big news yesterday is out goes Tony the Mooch.
Mooch. Huckabee?
Where's
What do you need?
I was looking for
Do you want me to sing?
No.
Do you want me to talk?
Do
you want me to gargle glass?
Pretty good. But so Mooch is gone, and according to his alumni directory, the Harvard Law alumni directory, he's gone. I mean, he's really gone. He's passed away.
Oh, they killed him off yesterday?
So over the last week, his wife filed for divorce. He lost his job, and Harvard Law School declared him dead. A Harvard Law School spokesperson saying, regrettably, there is an error in the Harvard Law School alumni directory in the listing for Anthony Scaramucci. We offer our sincere apologies to Mr. Scaramucci.
Oh, and it gets worse. His son also was born prematurely, too, last Monday, I should say. And Jeff Zelny from CNN said that he was escorted off the property.
We are told by our producers here, our team here, that he was escorted off the property, which isn't necessarily unusual. I mean, if someone is no longer working here, he has no reason to be here. So we are told that he was escorted off the property earlier this afternoon. Now the question is what happens next. Most people in Donald Trump's orbit, President Trump's orbit, never leave entirely.
Yeah.
Because there's talk that
Yeah.
he may be back in some capacity.
There's talk from Jeff Zelny. There's no talk from anybody else. The only talk now is possibly Kellyanne Conway as comm director.
Or Laura Ingram's being floated out there again.
Right.
Mhm.
Unlikely. Kellyanne Conway seems like a better fit. We'll see how that plays out. But General Kelly making his presence felt, and it's important to note the kind of authority he has, an authority that Reince Priebus certainly didn't have, an apparent confidence from the president has instilled in him that he did not instill in Priebus. And I think Charles Krauthammer had it about right with Kelly closing ranks and introducing a military-style chain of command in the White House.
It looks like the Trump administration hit bottom last week, and it seems to have bounced off the bottom.
Bounced off the bottom, but is it a dead cat bounce?
And if the line of command, and I would have imagined that Kelly would have demanded this. He's a guy from the Marines. He's a guy of order. He's been an orderly guy for 50 years. That he would demand that it all goes through him. I think then you have the beginnings of a White House that can really function. If that is true, and if the president will allow Kelly some control over the president's own unrestrained impulses, i.e. tweeting, I think that would be a tremendous advance, and it would give this administration a chance of succeeding.
Do you have renewed optimism in the Trump administration with both moves, both General Kelly as chief of staff as well as that walking Italian slur, Anthony Scaramucci, out? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. There's one other thing that was indicated yesterday with Flynn that not a lot of people caught. Brett Baer did on Special Report. Full confidence the president has, reportedly, full confidence in all of his cabinet secretaries, all of his cabinet members, including Jeff Sessions. Now, the including Jeff Sessions wasn't said explicitly, but it's implied.
Right.
So it's not just Kelly, it seems to me, trying to read the tea leaves a little bit, exerting his influence to get that cartoon, the mooch, out of the White House. It's also knock off the Sessions business.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying, stop publicly ridiculing him, knock it off.
And President Trump has knocked it off on Twitter. He has been very calm and quiet and not said a word. But why did Sarah Huckabee Sanders come out and say that it was President Trump's decision? She didn't come up and say General Kelly is now the chief of staff. They said that it was the president.
Look, the president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position. And he didn't want to burden General Kelly also with that line of succession, as I think we've made clear a few times over the course of the last couple of days to several of you individually. But General Kelly has the full authority to operate within the White House, and all staff will report to him.
And when she said line of succession, she means chain of command.
Okay. But he got fired because of the Ryan Lizza interview.
Well, among other things. But why didn't she say General Kelly? Because General Kelly's not the president. President Trump is the president. So it's ultimately his decision. And General Kelly may have authority, but you think he's going to run major personnel moves by the President of the United States? I think he is. George in Libertyville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think, replacing Scaramucci with Kelly is a great move. And, you can't give people, accountability without the ability to make the calls either, right? That's any function of business. Don't hold me responsible and then not let it get done the way I want to get it done. But what I thought was really interesting was I didn't hear anywhere else other than through Trump's lips that even the Mexican president is saying their southern border is safer now as a result of what Trump is doing at our border. That's incredible.
Well, I haven't heard the Mexican president say that either. I've just heard President Trump say that Nieto said that. So, but okay, thanks for the call, George. Ralph in Rantoul.
Good morning. And Amy, I'm hoping your voice gets better fast. Hey, isn't it real? Isn't it?
Are you being nice?
No. You sound okay. It's just I know that's unpleasant.
Oh, thanks, Ralph.
You're living talking. Hey, the real story's going to come out.
Don't tell Tom Waits that.
No. Well, I don't think she plays guitar. So the real story is going to come out that Trump got the call from Putin.
Yeah, right.
Basically said, "Stump the mooch."
Yeah.
And we all know he takes marching orders from Mother Russia. That'll be CNN's lead. Who knows now?
Yeah, thanks for the call. That's the real backstory. Thanks, Ralph. It's revelatory. Mike in Ogden Dunes.
Hey, good morning, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
Hey, just a quick health tip. Grandma always put a little honey, water, and whiskey in a glass.
Yeah, exactly.
That would break up the hairbrush you swallowed.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah, that's finally somebody getting to it. You need a little toddy is what you need.
A hot toddy and a hot bath.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Well, that's what Mark Sapolsky used to tell.
I'm not talking about girl drink drunks. I'm talking about you, and we're talking about what you can do in studio. You can't take a bath here.
Okay.
But you could.
I can't get a hot toddy.
You could have a little nip.
Well,
I'm not going to tell anybody. All right.
It's our little secret.
Remembering the mooch all morning on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, folks, here's this story about Minnie
Tony the Mooch.
She was a low-down hoochie-coochie. She was the roughest, toughest frail. Minnie had a heart as big as a whale. Hidey, 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 ho!
Hidey, 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 ho!
I miss Cab Calloway a lot more than Scaramucci.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I think we just found your karaoke song, Dan. Today, partly sunny, a high of 84.
And dance.
Yeah. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 68. And tomorrow, finally a shower, thunderstorm in the afternoon, a high of 82. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Good morning. On the inbound Edens, it's 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Kennedy, right now, 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 30. The Eisenhower, at the moment, just 42 minutes from Thorndale to the post office, 25 from Manheim, outbound 34 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41. Ryan is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 20 minutes from I-80 to the merge. The northbound tri-state delays are from 95th to Archer, from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and Roosevelt to past North Avenue. Southbound, we're seeing slight delays now, 21 to 120, and Atkinson to 176. It's heavy on the Veterans Memorial, from the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway, Butterfield to Roosevelt, the Army Trail Toll to Lake. Northwest Indiana looks good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender, who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs, because he thought my competitors' closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates, and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender, who talks and talks and talks and talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358, and MLS 19186.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. Born and raised in Chicagoland, my partners and I knew this city needed a locally owned business bank. As fellow entrepreneurs, we know the challenges facing businesses, and we are invested in our customers' success. We are here to build mutually beneficial, long-term, lasting relationships with our customers. We look forward to helping our customers reach their goals every day, and we are here to see them succeed. At Signature Bank, you work directly with decision makers who understand your business business and can deliver on their promises.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's absolutely amazing that the combination of these capsules improves your health. It does tell you the value of food and nutrition.
I actually can feel a difference. I really can.
I love the product. It's wonderful. I can't live without it.
It's really helping me. Every time I take it, my body says, thank you.
This is the first winter that I went through that I didn't get a cold.
I love my fruits and veggies. I'm a line dancer, and I just turned 78, and it has made a big difference in my stamina and just my overall well-being, and I have so enjoyed them. I just love taking them and what they do for me.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours. And when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business. And it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
Message and data rates may apply.
What does home security look like in 2017? It's not strangers drilling holes in your walls. It's not big names making empty promises. In 2017, thanks to some out-of-the-box thinking, FrontPoint Home Security is 100% wireless with cellular monitoring and is ready to set up right out of the box. Plus, it's backed up by the best customer service in the industry. Experience the next generation of home security with FrontPoint. For a free quote, text the keyword FAMILY to 642-642. FrontPoint can be controlled right from your smartphone. so you can remotely control your lights, thermostat, and door locks. With text and email alerts, live video streaming, night vision, and professional monitoring 24/7, your home is protected with us. Ready, set, secure. It's that easy. Protect your family right out of the box with FrontPoint. We deliver it, you unbox it. For your free quote, text FAMILY to 642-642 on your smartphone. That's FAMILY to 642-642.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy and
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, pleased to have Stevie Nicks in studio today. And here's the thing. I just wanted to let you know, Stevie.
Yes, Dan.
That it worked yesterday in court. It worked.
Oh, yeah, Dan was going 140 miles per hour on the outbound
Not
Kennedy
exactly. No,
and got a little ticky tick, and he had to go to court. And what happened, Dan?
I used the R. Kelly defense, and it worked.
Oh, it was me. That defense?
No, I said it was R. Kelly driving. That was my R. Kelly defense. But I did have a little problem with my legal representation. Just when I thought we had a deal struck, he turned on me.
That man is a slime. He is a slime. If he's allowed to go free, then something really wrong is going on. Mr. Kirkland, you are out of order. You're out of order. You're out of order. The whole trial is out of order. They're out of order. That man, that crazy, depraved man, raped and beat that woman there, and he'd like to do it again. He told me so. It's just a show.
John Forsythe, even though he's passed on, will play me in the made-for-TV movie about yesterday's courtroom drama.
Great.
And you got a ticket as well.
Well, when you were texting me to let me know that you're not going to jail
Mhm.
for your speeding violation,
Yeah.
I looked down at my phone and was texting you back via my headpiece saying, text Dan, congratulations. And I got pulled over. Yeah. And I have a $200 ticket here.
Great twist in the story, isn't it?
Oh, I was
Yeah.
out of my mind.
Yeah.
And he said, what were you doing? I said, well, my friend's actually in court for a traffic violation. And he was texting me, but I did not. He said that
the sweet irony.
I said that I can't have my phone on my lap. And I said, I have a headpiece. And he said, no, you have to have your phone on the counselor, your passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
I don't do that.
I hope you. Yeah. Mike Scott does
I
because
actually
he's
leave
a
it in my
law-abiding
briefcase.
citizen.
I never take my phone out whenever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. That's what law-abiding sounds like. I hope you learned your lesson, Miss Jacobson.
No, I'm taking this to court.
You're a menace on the roads.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning
As
Answer.
I know what would happen if I drove with my phone in my lap.
What would happen?
I'd be in the ditch every day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Mr. Popularity over there getting all kinds of text messages. Matt McCoyak, GOP strategist, joins us at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the law-abiding citizen model person. Here's Mike Scott.
69 and clouds. Winds are calm in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. 2 U.S. soldiers suffered minor injuries today. Their Black Hawk helicopter made a hard landing in eastern Afghanistan. A NATO spokesman confirmed the incident and blames it on a mechanical issue. It's now believed President Trump may have personally dictated what some are calling misleading responses to news about his son's meeting with a Russian attorney. It's a Washington Post story this morning where Trump apparently, according to the report, drafted the statement on board Air Force One on his way home from the G20 summit in Germany. White House also says this morning Anthony Scaramucci is out as communications director because President Trump found his profane comments in a recent interview inappropriate.
He does not have a role at this time in the Trump administration, and we put out a statement earlier announcing that, and I don't have much else to add beyond that.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Allies of 2 Venezuelan opposition leaders say Leopoldo Lopez and Antonio Ledesma have been taken by authorities from the homes where they were under house arrest. Video posted on Twitter's the Twitter account of Lopez's wife shows the man being hustled away from a Caracas home by state security agents of Nicolas Maduro. The city of Chicago on pace to exceed the number of killings in 2016. Sun-Times reporting the citywide murder total hit 407 yesterday. No one at the Illinois Capitol seems to know what's coming next. Lawmakers spent most of the day yesterday trying to negotiate a new plan to pay for Illinois schools, but those talks broke down late in the day, and the Democrats shipped over to Governor Rauner their original proposal and all but dared him to change it. The governor vows he will strip out extra money to bail out Chicago public school pensions. And Matt Davidson hit a walk-off hit for the second straight game, rallying the White Sox to a 7-6 win over the Blue Jays. The news service of Boost Mobile. Switch to Boost and get 2 lines with 3 gigs of 4G LTE data per line for only $50. Plus, get up to 2 free LGX power phones, all powered by the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes the GOP is fighting a tough battle.
I'm distressed because the Republican Party is up against the greatest addiction in the country. Addiction to benefits. The drug is benefits. You become so addicted to it that it becomes impossible to change. Impossible. This is how governments collapse.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing, independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mark Weingart, President and CEO of Star Creations, Inc., the fastest-growing supplier of wall decor products in the U.S. When it comes to banking, I don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. That's why I bank at Signature Bank Chicago. At Signature Bank, every customer is important. I know I can pick up the phone and talk to any one of the decision makers I know and trust at Signature Bank. At Signature Bank, they understand and respond to the unique needs of my business with flexibility and fairness. I'm proud to bank with Signature Bank because I know they're deeply invested in the success of Star Creations.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
7:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound 53, traffic is stop and go from Dundee to Lake Cook. There's a rollover crash on the ramp from northbound 53 to eastbound Lake Cook, and there's a report of a fuel leak involved there. Eden's 21 minutes Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 26. Kennedy, 33 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 33 as well. Inbound Eisenhower, 46 minutes Thorndale to the post office, outbound 35. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 39. Ryan is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, slow 21 to 120. And Atkinson to 176. Northbound, 95th to Archer, from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Roosevelt to past North Avenue, and there's a crash at the Waukegan toll reported. Traffic service of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The first week of August is National Minority Donor Awareness Week. Learn about organ, eye, and tissue donation, facts about the waiting list, and how to register. Go to organdonor.gov or call 866-99-DONATE. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, partial sunshine. We'll top out at 84 today, partly cloudy, and 68 overnight. 69 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Power Trading Radio. Heard Sundays at 2 p.m. Brought to you each week by Online Trading Academy.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Macy Gray in studio this morning. We're happy to have her.
I'm trying.
Love your work.
Thank you.
That's your hit song. I try.
Right.
And we're pleased to be joined now by our friend Matt Mackowiak. He is a Republican strategist and president of the Potomac Strategy Group. We've got a lot to talk about in terms of the Republican Party and its current constitution. And Matt, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Before we get to personnel, interesting Bill McGurn piece in the Wall Street Journal yesterday suggesting that Trump has really missed an opportunity when it comes to trying to advance his legislative agenda, whether it's on Obamacare replacement at present or tax reform in the not-too-distant future, ostensibly, by not using the bully pulpit of his office. And he references, for example, Ronald Reagan, who effectively used it to advance his tax cut proposals in 1981, including Ronald Reagan, who's remembered fondly as kind of the cuddly grandfather, but was very partisan and very pointed and pushed Democrats around through the use of that bully pulpit, communicating directly to the people. I know Trump's been doing campaign rallies, but when he gives prepared remarks on topic, they've been well-constructed and well-crafted and easily understood. What about that idea of an Oval Office address or two on these important issues when congressional Republicans are having a difficulty getting it together?
Yeah, I think there's no question that for whatever reason, they just haven't been able to build public support and use the power of the presidency to shape public opinion. If you think about some of the best moments the first 6 months, the State of the Union address, which I guess it was technically called a joint session address, his unveiling of his Supreme Court nominee, his terrorism speech in Riyadh, and his speech in Germany. And so it shows that with adequate preparation, with real cohesive teamwork, with discipline and focus, he can rise to these moments and perform at a very high level. The problem is those moments have been rare in the first 6 months. And if you look at healthcare as one example, I mean, there was almost no effort by the White House to provide cover for Republican members on the House side or the Senate side to support the healthcare bill. And the healthcare bill was did not have wide public support. The Democrats were attacking it left and right and were very effective, and the Republicans really weren't defending it at all. And so part of that is I think that there's been some turmoil inside the White House. They haven't had a very well organized, disciplined communication team. Obviously, that starts with the president, who is fairly impulsive in terms of his communications. So I would agree with Bill that Bill McGurn in the Journal that is a missed opportunity. And listen, when you're in the mid-30s or high 30s, it's very hard to persuade members of the House and Senate to go with you if what you're proposing is not popular. He just doesn't have the power of the presidency is less than it should be, because he's not, number one, his approval ratings are historically low, and number two, he's not using that bully pulpit power to shape public opinion and to then persuade elected officials to do what he wants.
And by the way, just on that score, because I know we get into this back and forth with Trump supporters about whose numbers we're using when it comes to the president's approval rating and such, it's Rasmussen that now has Trump under 40.
Rasmussen has him. Yeah, even
the
Rasmussen
first time,
now has him
right.
under 40. I mean, generally, I use Gallup as the best numbers, and sure, there's some difference between one poll or another. Some have him in the mid 30s, some had him in the high to mid 40s. But either way, he has fallen even from where he was when he was elected. He still has it's pretty clear he has a sharp and hard base of 35, 38% of the public that is strongly behind him. That is not enough to move Congress to bend to your will. You've really got to be at least in the mid 40s and ideally in the low to mid 50s.
Yeah, no, speaking of congressional members, General Kelly's going to have to deal directly with them on certain issues that he might not be too familiar with, such as the budget, tax reform, and health care. Do you think he'll be effective? I mean, more so than Priebus?
So I think internally, as it relates to personnel and the structure of the senior White House staff, I think he will be effective. And I think the signal and the decision to fire Anthony Scaramucci was a very encouraging one. That basically it was his first official act as chief of staff on Monday morning was to remove someone who was fairly unhinged and undisciplined as communications director.
Yeah.
Now, to your question, we don't know whether he's going to be able to quickly, sort of absorb the substantive policy of a lot of these areas. He obviously has a few areas that he's very well up to speed on: military issues, homeland security, national security. I think what you're going to see is the vice president take a much higher profile and a much more critical role in negotiating directly with Congress. Remember, he'd been a leader on the House side as one of the 3 or 4 highest-ranking Republicans. He has really strong relationships on both sides, and he gets the policy. So I think you may see Mike Pence take a more active role on some of those issues. But sure, I mean, ideally you'd have the White House Chief of Staff negotiating very sensitive things up on Capitol Hill, and we'll see if General Kelly is able to do that.
When it comes to General Kelly and his asserting his influence, not just with respect to the mooch, but pointed this out a little earlier, it was interesting, something Brett Baer caught on Special Report last night, that there was also a statement about having full confidence in his cabinet secretaries.
Yeah.
And that necessarily includes Jeff Sessions. And I wonder if that should be read as the Jeff Sessions Twitter nonsense is over and Jeff Sessions is staying.
Yeah, I think it probably is being read that way. Look, keep in mind, I mean, General Kelly had been in the cabinet. He doesn't, he understands that leaving a cabinet member in a state of uncertainty is not good for that agency. It's not good for morale. It's just not good in any way. And of course, the Attorney General is a unique cabinet officer in that they are the top law enforcement official. They have some independent responsibilities, and even the reasoning behind what Trump was mad about was pretty thin to begin with. The choice to recuse, whether Trump likes the ramifications of that decision, was pretty clear cut. I mean, Sessions had been a pretty senior official on the campaign, and because the Russia investigation had the potential of looking into the campaign, he could not do that in an independent way without having a conflict of interest. So,
and there's also this issue of Kelly, just the how you do things seems to matter to Kelly. There was a report out that General Kelly considered resigning as Homeland Security Secretary after the Comey firing, and it seemed from, again, this report, which is unverified, but it's credible news source, it seemed it was much more about how Comey was treated than the underlying substance of the rationale for firing him. So, again, the sophomoric antics seem to have no place in a General Kelly White House.
No, that's right. I mean, keep in mind, this is one of the most decorated generals of his generation. Commander of Southern Command. He'd been a top aide to 2 secretaries of defense. Obviously served with distinction as Secretary of Homeland Security. I mean, you do things a certain way, and the lack of structure and discipline and even cohesion inside the White House had been a real problem for the first 6 months. You had warring factions. You had 4 or 5 different power centers. You had far too many people that could walk into the Oval Office for any reason or no reason at all at any time. They weren't controlling information flow. And yeah, they handled a lot of things internally not well. Obviously, firing Jim Comey the way they did was one example. How about firing Reince Priebus the way they did, where he's literally pulled out of the motorcade in New York on Friday? So I do think you're going to start to see things done in a much more professional way, and I think that will be positive as well. Part of what General Kelly has to do is manage down in terms of the senior team in the White House, but he also has to manage up, and he and the president have to. They already have a fairly good relationship, but they're going to have to really have trust to be able to work together. And I think so far, again, it's only been 1 day, but initial indications are pretty positive.
Yeah, I like what he did yesterday. So now that we think Jeff Sessions is safe as Attorney General, who do you think is going to be the new Homeland Security Secretary?
Yeah, I mean, there was some chatter that maybe Sessions could get moved over to Homeland Security. I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that's likely. And even the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley said they will not be holding another confirmation hearing for a new Attorney General this year. So the senators really stepped up to defend Sessions under some of Trump's criticism. I think the leading choice is probably Michael McCaul, the House Homeland Security Chairman from Texas, who had been a finalist for that job the first time around. A very credible choice, former prosecutor, former high-ranking Justice Department official in the Bush years. You could have Chris Kobach, the Secretary of State in the state of Kansas, who's been an immigration hardliner. It is the vice chairman of the Election Integrity Commission that the White House appointed. I think those two names are getting a lot of attention. You could perhaps see a couple others, but that'll take some time. You could also have Rudy Giuliani or Chris Christie perhaps be in the mix as well.
On the other side of the aisle, they're chomping at the bit and they're enjoying some of the chaos at the White House, but Democrats have their own internal chaos and their own internal divisions. And one of them is playing out in terms of their litmus test, or lack thereof, for congressional candidates in 2018.
Right.
Congressman Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico, who is the head of the DCCC, said there's going to be no litmus test for Democrats when it comes to pro-life, pro-choice. I mean, the number of pro-life Democrats you could fit into a phone booth if they still existed. But even just theoretically saying there's no litmus test on that issue, as compared to what the diversity on the issue you have on the Republican side, has drawn a rebuke from NARAL and other hardline pro-abort leftists. So, on some of these moral issues with how far left the 21st century Democrat Party has gone, there really is little tolerance for anything outside the orthodoxy from a lot of their core constituencies, isn't there?
Oh, there's no question about that. And, yeah, I think that there was a firestorm yesterday when he said that. Look, this is one of the challenges you have when you try to win a large number of seats, which the Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to win at least 24 seats net next year to try to take back the House. A lot of those districts are going to be districts that are in areas where people are more socially conservative. Maybe in the Midwest, you might have to be more of a moderate Democrat to have a chance. Even some of the Senate seats this year are from states that would be more socially conservative: Montana, West Virginia, Indiana, Missouri. So, it is interesting. I mean, Democrats, talk a lot about having an open mind and being, reasonable and things like that. And then when one of their top political officials mentions, listen, we might be willing to consider being open to someone who's pro-life as a Democrat, there's a firestorm. It does say a lot about how close-minded Democrats are.
Yeah, they're and how unbounded they are by their own hypocrisy. At least we try to be bounded by our hypocrisy on the right. All right, Matt Mackowiak, Republican strategist, president of the Potomac Strategy Group. Matt, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And before we run, Frank from Bartlett, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan. I just wanted to congratulate you for getting, sounds like you have Susan Collins in there with you this morning.
Susan, yes. Yes, she's Senator from Maine, is in studio this morning. Thanks for the call, Frank.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground today. Froggy from the Little Rascals, Kathleen Turner, Harvey Fierstein,
Stevie Nicks,
Kim Carnes, Susan Collins.
A lot of male figures.
Yeah.
Peter Brady.
Well, yeah, Peter Brady. We've got that.
Yeah.
It's time to change. You've got to rearrange who you are and what you're going to be. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Sha-na-na-na-na. Forecast for today, partly sunny, a high of 84 degrees. Then tomorrow, a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. This is a guy with a great voice. Here's Jim Delamonte.
Thanks, Amy. I'm thankful to be healthy. Hope you feel better. We're seeing heavy delays on southbound 83 in Long Grove from 45 to just north of 22 with a crash in the right lane. And there's northbound 53 jammed Rand Road to Lake Cook. The ramp from northbound 53 to westbound Lake Cook blocked now with a crash involving a semi and a double trailer. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. Kennedy, 37 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 34. The Ike, 46 minutes, Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 35. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to the Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com. It's premium content on our digital platform that advances what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series featuring, in the latest edition, Cook County Board of Review Commissioner Dan Patlack talking property taxes. Heart of the Matter, it's our new series featuring women, professional women, talking colleague to colleague of the salient issues of the day. This week on the massive tax increases passed in Illinois by Chicago Democrats and Madigan Republicans and the impact of those taxes on the household budget, as well as 60 Seconds of Sanity from yours truly this week on the argument that everything Trump does can be defended by the argument Trump is a fighter. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes from the Illinois Opportunity Project this week on J.B. Pritzker, as well as podcasts of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, of course, this week focused on the school funding impasse in Springfield. You can check it out and sign up at upstream-ideas.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've been on vitamins, I've been on all kinds of supplements, but nothing has come close to your product. The difference between before I started the product and afterwards is like night and day. I do have more energy, and that was what I really was after. I get all these benefits. It's wonderful. I had no energy at all, and I thought, how can I live this way? I do one little chore, and then I have to sit and rest. And I find that I get through the day pretty well, and I really have more energy. I look in the mirror and I say, I think I feel more alive. I think I look more alive.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
I love my Catholic school. My teachers help me to succeed academically. In fact, students at the Catholic schools in the Joliet Diocese are ahead in every category academically by 20 to 30 points compared to national norms. And 92% of 7th graders meet or exceed growth expectations in reading, language, math, science, and social studies.
You just heard my daughter talk about why she loves her Catholic school. And as a parent, I may not be able to control what is happening in our culture, but I can control how my children are educated. I do that by sending them to a Catholic school where they are formed in the image of Jesus Christ so that they have the moral foundation to make the right choices based on the teachings of the Catholic Church. If you want to provide your child with a moral compass to navigate our culture, consider sending him or her to a Catholic school.
Now you can join me at my school. Participating Catholic schools in the Joliet Diocese in conjunction with the Catholic Education Foundation are offering transfer grants of $1,500 to elementary school students and $3,000 to high school students who transfer from a public school. Restrictions apply. For more information, go to weteachmore.com.
For me, it was the big S class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone wants the original, the authentic. And with a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the iconic luxury, unparalleled safety, and performance of Mercedes-Benz at a price you can afford. But just remember, only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer has the skilled technicians to certify that your pre-owned vehicle is up to Mercedes-Benz standards. And only your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer offers an unlimited mileage warranty, so you can drive with confidence as far as you'd like for up to 5 years. There are pre-owned vehicles, and then there are Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned vehicles. Visit the Certified Pre-Owned Sales event going on now through August 31st and receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Hey guys, Ken here from the award-winning podcast Today's Growth. If you had to choose sides, which camp would you rather be in? Would you rather have time and no money, or money and no time? Did you know that 95% of U.S. adults by choice have settled into these categories? Much more interesting is that 1 out of 20 people have built their life around achieving simultaneous control of both time and money. What choices did these 5% make that the others didn't? My friends at Income Store have shown both households and businesses how to build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams for the express purpose of gaining control of time. When it comes to helping folks create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Some guys have all the luck, and I'm one of them today as we have Rod Stewart in studio, and we're pleased to have him. Big fan.
Some guys have all the luck. Is it good?
Yeah. Some guys get all the pain.
And some guys get all the pain. Singing's worse.
Yeah, that's good.
I have an upper respiratory infection.
Somebody picked up on that. 847, I think Amy caught the Haitian flu. Other suggestions for who you sound like, 708 Susan Estrich. Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, that's good.
630 female Steven Tyler. 847 puberty sucks the second time around, Amy.
That's actually really funny. And stop gargling glass. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Sexism at Maine South High School with respect to yearbook photos. Oh, the horror at 808.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're watching right now. A new Capitol showdown looms over Illinois school funding. Chicago officials take 17 party bus companies off the road. A food fight erupts over a Pennsylvania pierogi festival name. And the White Sox rally past the Blue Jays last night. Partial sunshine in your forecast. More Dan and Amy after Fox News. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
He's hoping for another record day on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just tweeted the stock market could hit an all-time high again as it nears 22,000 for the first time. He notes it was around 18,000 on Election Day, something he says the mainstream media seldom mentions. All this the day after making a big change at the White House, where the new guy got rid of another new guy. Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
A day after newly installed Chief of Staff John Kelly abruptly dismissed Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci, the message from the West Wing is that they're focused on the president's agenda and not on stories of White House chaos. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders suggested Scaramucci's recent profanity-laced interview with The New Yorker played a role in his departure.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position.
One of Kelly's first tasks, choosing a new communications director to help deliver the president's message. Dave?
John, a former police officer goes on trial today in St. Louis for a 2011 shooting after a chase that left the drug suspect dead. Jason Stockley's charged with murder, and supporters of the black man killed claim the white cop planted a gun found in his car afterward. There's a push in Cincinnati to give an ex-cop his job back 2 years after a deadly traffic stop shooting. Fox's Jeff Manasso has more live.
Dave, the police union representing 27-year-old Ray Tensing, a former University of Cincinnati officer, wants him to have his job back after prosecutors recently declined to pursue a third trial against him after jurors deadlocked in the 2015 shooting death of Sam DuBose. Police body and dash cam shows DuBose resisting and taking off during a traffic stop and shows Tensing being thrown to the ground, though the university, which has paid the DuBose family millions plus free tuition for his 12 kids, says it doesn't plan on hiring Tensing back. Dave.
This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
69 degrees. There are some clouds out there this morning, and we should have a partly sunny day ahead. Winds from the south at 5 miles an hour in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. City of Chicago on pace this year to exceed the number of killings from 2016. As of yesterday, the citywide murder total topped 407. Mayor Emanuel's office projecting a budget deficit for 2018 of just over $114 million. However, that preliminary spending plan does not include certain costs like the $70 million needed to hire new police officers. Republican Governor Bruce Rauner expected to use his veto pen to remove some money to bail out Chicago Public School Teachers' Pension Fund, a move that could jeopardize some school funding for Illinois' roughly 850 districts. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will finally release their report on whether the electric barriers at the mouth of the Illinois River near Joliet are keeping Asian carp out of Lake Michigan. Police are searching for a man who robbed and sexually assaulted a woman at gunpoint over the weekend in Aurora. The attack happened Saturday in an alley. The suspect took off with an undisclosed large amount of cash. Matt Davidson had a walk-off hit for the second straight game. White Sox topped the Blue Jays 7-6. Cubs opening up a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks at Wrigley. The news a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on everything your kids need to head back to school with confidence. Get everything they need for less at Staples, and right now, composition books and 2-pocket poly folders are just 50 cents, while supplies last. Limit 30 in store, 10 online, ends 9/2. Staples, it's pro time. 8:03 time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, athletic apparel company Under Armour is restructuring and cutting some jobs. It lost money in the recent quarter, though the loss was smaller than a year ago. Under Armour is also planning to close facilities and end leases. Pfizer, the drug company that makes Advil, Viagra, and many other medications, is reporting better than expected earnings, but its overall report was mixed. Sprint is reporting a better than expected quarter. Love Pizza Hut? The chain is launching a new loyalty program for you. It's called Hut Rewards, and it offers points for every dollar you spend online. If you sign up right away, you'll receive a bonus. It's offering double points between August 10th and October 1st. Stock futures are sharply higher. The Dow could top 20,000 after yesterday's record close. The Dow was up 60 yesterday, NASDAQ down 26, S&P dropped a point. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now. 1-800-600-4133. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-4133. Again, that's 1-800-600-4133.
One call could decide your child's future. We're Mathnasium Learning Centers, the world's specialist in teaching math. We began with a powerful idea. Teach kids math the way that makes sense to them, and kids will actually enjoy math. They'll do more of it, leading to higher and higher levels of mastery. Today, Mathnasium has 700 franchised locations. Find yours at mathnasium.com and make the call that could decide your child's future. Mathnasium, we make math make sense.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT, home, safe home.
8:07. Time to get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Micah. Northbound 53, traffic is slow from Woodfield Road most of the way up to Lake Hook. The ramp to westbound Lake Hook is closed with a crash involving a semi and double trailer. On the northbound side, again, those delays start at Woodfield. Southbound, just a slight delay, Palatine Road to Northwest Highway. The Edens Expressway runs 20 minutes from Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 27th. Kennedy, inbound delays start at Montrose, 45 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 35 from Montrose, 28 in the Express, outbound 30 to the airport. Eisenhower, 52 minutes from Thorndale to the Loop, 26 from Manheim, outbound 44 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, heavy Washington to 120 and Lawrence to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound, LaGrange Road to the Hinsdale Oasis. The Reagan Tollway past North Avenue at Irving Park to Balmoral. The Adams Tollway has delays. Roselle to Meacham. And from Elmhurst Road to the Tri-State for the crash. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, partial sunshine, high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 67. Tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm around for the afternoon, high 82. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 75 at O'Hare, 75 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire, Ken Savera. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You know, I thought I settled this when I broke the glass ceiling in 1990, bearing my naked shoulders in my 1990 senior yearbook photo at Bennett Academy, but apparently not.
No, is that when you had the permed mullet?
The struggle continues for young ladies, and again, I thought I had won their battle. Maine South.
Really nice high school.
Oh, yeah.
Park Ridge there.
17-year-old Grace
the Hawks.
Goebel had her senior yearbook photo rejected because she was wearing a yellow sweater that exposed her shoulders, and that is against school dress code. I know there are a lot of things going on in the world, but nothing is more important than this, in case you were wondering.
It's high school drama at its finest.
It is. It reminds me of 15, poignant high school drama, which I used to watch in lieu of going to class. When I graduated from Bennett, went on to Northwestern and was bored to death. So here's the thing. Is dress code something that's important for you in your home with your kids? And do you have a problem with public schools that impose a certain dress code, not uniforms necessarily, but a certain dress code, including for yearbook photos? Or does Miss Grace Goebel have a point when she says, per her petition that's circulating at Maine South High School, she wants to end the over-sexualization of young women's bodies, quote unquote, by revising the portion of the dress code that requires shoulders to be covered, saying,
oh, yeah, that she spent a majority of her life wondering why exactly women's shoulders are so offensive. I mean, if you look at any sorority...
I'm sorry, full stop. She spent a majority of her life wondering why women's shoulders are so offensive. If that is true, this is not a life well spent to this point, Ms. Goebel. Start thinking and pondering bigger thoughts, please.
Okay.
Post haste. I've spent a majority of my life thinking about women's shoulders, exposed women's shoulders. Give me a break.
It's high school drama. But if you look at any sorority photos, I mean, this is what they take. They put a drape over.
You don't have to tell me.
And then they take a picture where their shoulders are exposed. And back in the 50s, I know that my mom took a picture with the shoulders exposed. That's how they did it back then. Why? I'm not offended by her shoulders showing. I'm more offended by the girl with the nose ring and the lip piercing and the pink hair. That's acceptable, but this wasn't.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line on the matter of imposing dress code discipline in your home and any issue with the school doing similarly. So, yes, there can be differing opinions on the particulars of it, but if the code is the code, is there a problem with it? I mean, I assume that you don't let Peyton and Eli walk around with their shoulders exposed.
Well, sometimes when it's hot out, they take their T-shirts off. I'm okay with it. Is
Really?
that bad?
It's not great.
Stop it.
Here's the dress code for men.
Not at school. You wear a shirt. Yes.
Oh, great. No shoes, no shirt, no education.
Service, yeah.
So here's the thing. Just for men out there, I'm talking about up and down, whether you're in school or not. Shirts, yeah. Collared shirts, preferably.
Oh my! Stop.
Unless you're going to the beach or participating in an athletic event, then a non-collared shirt is acceptable.
Okay.
And closed-toe footwear.
No.
All the time and everywhere until you take them off to go into a body of water. Yes.
No. Flip-flops in the summer.
No.
It's acceptable.
Flip-flops, no.
I never wore shoes in the summer. I'd
You're
come out,
not
my feet
a
were
guy.
black.
You're not
Okay.
a guy.
No, I am a guy.
Flip-flop.
I sound like a man
Well, you sound
today.
like Joe Cocker, but it doesn't make you a guy.
My name's Jerry.
You sound like Caitlyn Jenner. It doesn't make him a guy or you a guy. No. Closed-toe footwear,
I
and
can't
that should be
remember
part
what
of
you-
that should be part of policy too at Maine South and everywhere else.
I can't remember what you ordered at the Dominican. Did you have? You had flip-flops. I
On
thought.
on the beach,
Yeah.
wingtips.
You stop it. Loafers. Penny loafers.
Robert in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey guys, love your show always.
Thank you.
The way Amy sounds right now, if she was in high school and she dressed as a man, she would be allowed to go into the boys' bathroom.
There's no question. Yes, thanks for the. Go ahead, Robert.
But the point is that transgender stuff exists in high school, mandatory, whatever. But a woman's shoulders can't be in a photograph. I mean, what kind of? I mean, it's just nonsense.
Thanks for the call, Robert. I mean, well, it's all yes, it's nonsense going in a couple different directions. I get your point. If we're not going to recognize gender, or if men and boys and girls can be in the same locker room, in the same bathroom, then you're going to obsess about exposure of shoulders in a senior yearbook photo. I guess I would say that the problem is the acceptance of the former, not the prohibition of the latter.
Well,
I mean, I'm somebody I went to Catholic school, so I wear uniforms. And
you wore a uniform at Michael's, St. Michael's,
yeah,
right?
Ann Bennett, of course.
What was your uniform?
It was I wore a jumper.
A romper?
Well, I don't. They could jumper, like a plaid jumper, and then I had like a little shirt that I tied up at the midriff, and ponytails.
Seriously.
I look like Britney Spears in that high school video thing. That
Why do Catholic girls make them wear those? I live by St. Andrews.
It's not just a girl, sister.
But I live by St. Andrews. I can't believe the outfits they make them wear. That plaid stuff's got to go.
Really?
Because now they're wearing it for naughty videos.
Right. So they should dress like street urchins. They should show up like your kids with filth and no shirts. Cut off jean shorts.
That's the worst. Men,
born to lose tattoo on their upper arm.
Men should never wear jean shorts, jorts. Never. Never.
What about
ever.
capri pants?
Oh, no.
Anything about that?
No.
Why not?
It.
What about?
Because that's for women.
What about meggings with some umbros? What about that?
No, that's
so that's not in the scene. So we do have some standards. Okay, so there are standards. Now we're just arguing about what those standards are, and that includes at public schools. So is Maine South right? I mean, is Maine South right to whether you agree or disagree about the shoulder issue and the drama?
She looks lovely, and this is not a salacious.
She does look lovely, and it's perfectly tasteful. I agree.
This is not a salacious.
I'm not
photo
saying it's
by any means.
It's not about this being salacious. She's a lovely girl. She looks perfectly respectable and fine. No issue with it. Here's the point, though. The point is to set boundaries and then abide the boundaries. It's not, it's not like, could somebody violate the rules and still look tastefully and respectable? Of course they could. That's the case with almost every dress code policy. But that's not the point, is it? The point is to say there's a certain discipline, there's a certain protocol, and you're going to abide it whether you like it or not.
Yeah, because according to the dress code, which can be interpreted differently, they don't want anybody to wear anything that distracts or disrupts the school environment.
Yeah.
This is not distracting the school environment.
You're missing the point again.
Right.
You're using this anecdotally rather than addressing the larger issue of imposing standards. She suggests that this is shaming women for wearing things that make them feel comfortable and happy in their bodies, and how horribly sexist it is. And if that distracts somebody, well, that's just too bad. Well, I mean, here this just in, especially adolescent boys. They're attracted to girls. So are non-adolescent boys. And, oh, by the way, this just in, girls and women dress to attract attention from the opposite sex. I mean, I haven't lived the female experience, so I don't know if I can comment on this, Amy.
I can comment and tell you that you're correct.
Of course I am. Come on. So, I mean, who's really being Pollyannish here or prudish? Is it the school? Or is it, the people who take the position of this young lady? Sean the Mooch from Elmwood Park.
First off, Amy, she sounds like Rahm Emanuel with that midget lollipop guild voice. That's exactly what she sounds like. Secondly, talk about dress codes. I know you're working this morning, but have you seen these slobs, these mechanics outside these car dealerships, how they're dressed? They've got T-shirts and swim trunks on with flip-flops, laughing and giggling, all while they're on strike. Go back to work, you lazy bums. And if you don't go back to work, hit the gym, because there's not anything but XXX shirts out there. I'm so sick of these strikes. And then you drive by and they beep all the supporters.
Hey,
beep, beep.
hey, listen. The Mooch from Elmwood Park, listen to me. We're talking about high school. You have 2 daughters, I know. Address the dress code.
I send them to parochial school. There's no options. You wear what the options are. I got to buy the little shirt and the skirts. And you know something? It's so perfect. Bad. That's how everybody should go to school. You're there for one thing, learning. Nose piercings, shoulders off. Just learn. Stop wasting everyone's money. Learn and get the hell out of there. And my favorite part is when you send them to school and then they come home and they have to log on to the Khan Academy, which is free. All these teachers, they're telling the kids to log on to YouTube. I mean, does anybody do anything anymore? It's all a scam.
Thanks for the call, Mooch from Elmwood Park. Greg in Northlake, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, guys. Now, Dan, I agree with you that there needs to be standards, but my daughter ran into a situation at the end of last school year, 14 years old, junior high, has a uniform code, but the last day of school they're allowed to wear whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
She's 5'10" at 14 with very long legs. Her shorts did not cover the tips of her fingers.
Oh, right, in terms of the length. Yeah, right.
Okay, and I'm not... Okay, fine. It didn't meet the dress code. I get that. But it was the comment from the administration that bothered me more, because I was in California on a business trip, and I got this phone call.
What'd they say?
And the comment was, you know how young boys are. And I'm like, no. Why punish my daughter and over-sexualize her? Why don't you deal with the boys? That's the issue I have. And I think that's what this young lady at Maine South is saying. Stop making us feel like we are the problem.
Well, it's not. Yeah.
With the boys.
Well, that's a fair point, Greg. I mean, it's not saying that you're a problem. It's just saying that you. I mean, it's. I think it's about exhibiting some modesty is really what most of these codes are directed at, and the uniform policy at private schools as well, generally speaking. So there are not such distractions because, I mean, trying to get boys not to pay attention to, girls and girls showing skin is like trying to get the wet out of water. I mean, you're just not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, but the issue is not that they pay attention to them. I get that, Dan. I'm with you on the need to have standards.
Yeah.
But they are trying to avoid creating a scene and having the boys do something that would get the boys in trouble. Why not address that behavior?
Well, no question.
Forcing the girls to it's like saying a rape victim is asking.
No. I don't think it's the same thing. I mean, I agree. Look, no matter how a woman dresses or how alluring she is, you have to be respectful, keep your hands to yourself, all the things you learned in
kindergarten.
Exactly. So no, I agree with that, and this isn't blaming. I see what you're saying, Greg, and I appreciate the call, and I'm sorry that happened to your daughter. I mean, I get it, and you shouldn't castigate somebody. You just say, hey, miss or sir, this is the code, and this is what we're going to abide. Whether it's you come into, whether you come to class with the wrong Oxford shirt on, if you're a color. I mean, this happened at Bennett. There were color Oxford shirts that boys could wear.
Okay.
And if you were not wearing one of the approved colors, then you had a uniform policy violation. The same thing with the length of skirts, like he's talking about the length of shorts. And I get that. And it's not shaming anybody. It's just saying we have standards here. We're going to abide those standards. If you don't understand it, you don't need to understand it. And everybody's going to be respectful to one another. And we're going to enforce everybody being respectful to one another, too.
So did you get sent home for wearing the seafoam green? Or did you get sent home for the pink Oxford?
I got sent home because my skirt was too short.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Seriously, Catholic schools have to get rid of those plaid skirts. Come on.
Why?
Because they're naughty.
No, stop.
Oh,
gross.
please.
That is a gross word. That's like moist.
No.
Don't say that again, especially in that Kathleen Turner voice you got going today.
It's awful. The forecast isn't partly sunny skies today, a high of 84. Tomorrow, finally, a shower or thunderstorm and a high of 82. Let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic center, where I'm sure he's properly dressed. And he has a great voice, and I'm jealous. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. No skirts here. On the inbound side of the red line and the purple line of the CTA loop-bound trains are stopped near Wilson. There's a door problem, so you got delays. Northbound 53, solid mess. Palatine Road to Lake Cook, the ramp to westbound Lake Cook, closed. It's got a crash there involving a double trailer. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. The Kennedy holding at 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 28. The Eisenhower is 56 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 34 from Manheim, outbound 37 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 44 minutes. The Ryan 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays, Archer to the Mile Long Bridge, from the Hinsdale Oasis to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway much of the way to Balmoral. Veterans Memorial heavy, 75th to Maple and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Join me, that's Dan Proft, and Kane County Chairman Chris Lausen for his Summer Volunteer Appreciation Barbecue. It's happening this Saturday, August 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. in Aurora. Enjoy Faye's barbecue pork chops and chicken while meeting new friends. There's no chance of a rain out since it will be all indoors. For more information and to purchase tickets, please send an inquiry to campaign@lausen.com. That's campaign@LAUZEN.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-400-4173. That's 1-800-400-4173. 1-800-400-4173.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing during the decline in the U.S. economy, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-461-8937. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-461-8937 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-461-8937 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-461-8937.
Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, it is illegal to text and drive. So if you're experiencing hair loss and you want a permanent solution, please pull over now, because an incredible offer that could give you your hair back is just one text away. Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration expert, always pioneering the latest technology. And now, we're giving everyone who texts GROW to 543-543 an absolutely free information kit that reveals just how easy and affordable this permanent solution really is. Don't wait. When you text GROW to 543-543, we'll also give you a gift card for $250 off. Millions of men and women have come to Bosley for a permanent solution to hair loss. So pull over now and see for yourself how great your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit. Text GROW to 543-543. Plus, get a free gift card. This amazing offer is just one text away. GROW to 543-543.
Yes, indeed, summertime. Another hot one. Wait, gonna be a little bit cooler today. Back to hot, gonna be windy. Maybe a thunderstorm mixed in for good measure. Up and down and up and down. The climate is always changing. Your company's heating and cooling system really gets a workout in Chicagoland. Be ready for anything this summer. Call Air Comfort and get your business's cooling system tuned up and running at peak performance. You see, the Air Comfort problem solvers can find small problems before they become big problems. Plus, proper maintenance will keep your system from wasting energy and money. Air Comfort will make sure your equipment is clean and obstacle-free. And if your chiller is about to or has stopped working, they can install temporary solutions to keep you cool while the long-term fixes are put in place. The key to keep your climate from changing is preventative maintenance, and Air Comfort can help. Schedule a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system today. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state-backed taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state-backed taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-391-5071. 800-391-5071. That's 800-391-5071.
AM 560, The Answer.
She loves rock and roll. Joan Jett in studio this morning. Happy to have her.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
Amy Jacobson, as you can hear, is going to do her impression today, one day only, of Marlon Brando in On the Waterfront. You're going to want to stay tuned for that.
I thought it was Kathleen Turner's Body Heat.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
oh, lots to do, so little time.
And Dennis Prager banned in Santa Monica. What could the genteel Dennis Prager have possibly done?
Maybe it was what he was wearing. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
73 outside, cloudy right now in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. President Trump apparently found Anthony Scaramucci's recent comments to reporters for The New Yorker inappropriate.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position.
That, according to White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders in a briefing yesterday, and Scaramucci was ousted as White House Communications Director. The Senate could confirm Christopher Wray as FBI Director in the next couple of weeks. Wray does not face any major obstacles. He would replace fired FBI Director James Comey. Allies of two Venezuelan opposition leaders say Leopoldo Lopez and Antonio Ledesma have been taken by authorities from homes where they were under house arrest. Video posted on the Twitter account of Lopez's wife shows a man being hustled away from a Caracas home by state security agents loyal to dictator Nicolas Maduro. Much of Florida is soaked after a visit from Emily. Tropical storm made landfall in Tampa yesterday. Two men, or the men who broke out of an Alabama jail over the weekend, made their escape with peanut butter. The Walker County sheriffs said yesterday the 12 inmates escaped by deceiving a young jailer when they used peanut butter to cover up an ID number on a jail door. The jailer apparently thought he was opening a cell door when in reality he opened the door that led the outside of the jail. Mayor Emanuel's office this morning projects a budget deficit of just over $114 million for 2018. However, that preliminary spending plan does not include $70 million needed to hire new police officers. Around 2,000 auto mechanics around Chicagoland are on strike. Members of the Automobile Mechanics Local 701 will hit the picket lines, impacting about 130 car dealerships in the area. A Pennsylvania celebration of a popular Polish treat embroiled in a food fight with a suburban Chicago Chamber of Commerce. They are threatening a trademark infringement lawsuit over the name Pierogi Festival. The Wilkes-Barre Citizen's Voice reports that lawyers for the Whiting Pierogi Festival recently sent a letter demanding that the Edwardsville Hometown Committee stop using that name or pay royalties to the Northwest Indiana community. Sox top the Blue Jays 7-6. Cubs open up a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks. And the news is a service of Napa Auto Parts. It's hot out there, but not hard to protect your engine from overheating. All you have to do is go to any participating Napa Auto Parts store and grab some Prestone antifreeze for $11.99 a gallon. That's Napa know-how. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher can always count on the Democrats.
I'm being told that Donald Trump Jr. took a meeting with a Russian lawyer in which no law was broken. At least the Democrats aren't overreacting. What's this? Senator Tim Kaine?
This is moving into perjury, false statements, and even into potentially treason.
Yep, you can count on the Dems.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
8:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Northbound 53, traffic is at a standstill from Rand Road to Lake Cook. The ramp to westbound Lake Cook is closed due to a crash. The northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway is loosening up. Still delays on 355. 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Lake to 290. Tri-State heavy with delays only northbound from the Hinsdale Oasis most of the way to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The other tollways have cleared up. Edens is fine inbound. Outbound with scattered delays starting at Devon. It's 25 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy, 49 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 39 from Montrose. 35 in the Express. Outbound 30 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 46 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 38. Stevenson, 59 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 46. The Ryan is 35 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Partial sunshine, high of 84 today, 75 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Breaking news as it happens. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Call me hopeful but skeptical when it comes to what General John Kelly will bring to the White House. We'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're having fun at Amy's expense today, so please join in. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Call in with a song request you have from a gravelly voice singer, actor. All right, here, I'm going to start. Amy, so repeat these lines after me.
Yes.
You was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit.
He was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit.
You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short end money.
You should have something.
You should have looked out for me a little bit.
You should have looked out for me a little bit.
So I wouldn't have had to take them dives for the short end money.
So I wouldn't have had to take them dives for the short end money.
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
I could have had class.
I could have had class.
I could have been a contender.
I could have been a contender.
I could have been somebody instead of a bum.
Been somebody instead of a bum.
It was you, Charlie.
It was you, Charlie.
It's a pretty good Brando you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of hurt. Somebody called in. You want to hear the voicemail message?
Yeah.
From a listener called.
Oh, this is Scott. I just think Amy Jacobson's voice sounds like Susan St. James from McMillan and Wife, which is not a bad thing.
That's
Tell Dan Prop that.
Yeah,
Talk to you.
that's a good reference. Boy, that McMillan and White, that's a good reference. I like the deep digs today, too. That's what you get when you've got this voice going on. Everything from, the 80s, my 80s wheelhouse of Kim Carnes to, Susan St. James, Marlon Brando.
James.
The nice thing, too, is it's a cross-gender.
Right. I could be Amy or Andy. I mean, really.
Very versatile. Very versatile. All right, we're going to conserve yourself here because we're going to need you to weigh in on this next topic.
Oh, sure.
As you did with the shoulderless senior yearbook photos.
Don't look. I'm going to wear shoulderless top tomorrow.
We didn't even get to prom wear.
And that's all you wear at prom is shoulderless.
Well, I understand it, but I mean, you've seen some of the pictures of the rather shabbily attired prom attendees.
Trust me, I've seen it.
You've been it.
9 of them.
Yeah. I never had the pleasure. Nesting. It's not just for birds anymore. It's for parents who are divorcing. Divorce is an unfortunate reality for countless families. The arrangements that parents make to ease the transition for their children varies greatly from one household to the next. The traditional setup ain't cutting it for some couples who are splitting up, trying something new. Nesting, it's the situation where the children stay in the family home and the parents are the ones to move in and out.
Yeah. I know a couple that does that.
No two homes, no two sets of toys, and so forth. One nester, attorney Ann Mitchell, had this to say to the Washington Post. As her marriage broke down, she asked her husband not to leave, but to stay in the house and sleep in different bedrooms. How is that different than marriage? This worked very well. We were still able to co-parent very civilly, even supportively. We just weren't husband and wife anymore, very much like the new great Netflix series Ozark. You can also be a money launderer for a Mexican drug cartel. If you nest, that nesting is key. Once her husband moved out of state, they started to practice nesting full time. Miss Mitchell's husband would fly in each weekend. She would move out. Mitchell believes that many parents allow their negative feelings about their ex-partner to affect the decisions they make post-divorce, and that nesting can be a way to prioritize the children's needs first. Are you a nester, or are you open to the idea as you're contemplating divorce in real time? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And if the Mooch's soon-to-be ex-wife calls in, pipe her through. We'll prioritize her call.
Well, what is this, just another reason for you not to get married? When you hear about stories like this?
So many reasons. I mean, honestly, the reasons are myriad. I mean, it essentially comes down to the fact that,
What?
No, I won't say.
No,
it's just. I mean, I'll just stick with the horror stories. Certainly are intimidating, and and it's almost not a day goes by that you don't hear a horror story. And I think about my circle of friends, even in acquaintances, and I would say maybe 2 in 10, maybe 3 in 10 are like truly happily married, where you see them going the distance.
Yeah.
So it's daunting.
It is. And then I've got friends that do what that lady said. They sleep in separate
nesting.
bedrooms.
Nesting is the term.
But I've got nesters. I have a family down the street. They nest, so he stays for a week, and then she stays for a week, so that they don't have a separate set of toys, a separate set of life for the kid.
Right, yeah.
Right.
That's
And
nesting.
you know what?
As far as I understand it.
It sounds crazy, but as a mom my kids are in I'm their primary custodian.
Yeah.
But they do go to their dad every other weekend and then one night a week. I lose so much stuff. I can't stand it. Between uniforms and shirts and dress socks and it's too much. It's very stressful on parents, I think. And I think nesting might be a way to solve that problem.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Are you going to propose that in your own, life?
Jaime? Oh, yeah. Actually, no, I don't want him in my bedroom.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy. You're right about that.
So that's the challenge is, the intense dislike of one another. That cuts against the nesting.
In.
That cuts against
But
the
then
nesting.
there's so many people that I know that are, they're so stubborn. Neither parent wants to move out, so one lives in the basement and one lives upstairs.
Well, I mean, there's a financial.
So many people do that.
There's a financial consideration to that sometimes, and I understand that. So, if there's not a financial consideration, would you do this if you thought it was in the best interest of the child, or does your your loathing for your spouse overwhelm that? Billy in Toivola, Minnesota?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Where's that?
I don't know. Minnesota.
It's northwest of Duluth, about an hour.
Holy cow.
Oh, my gosh, you're way
All
up
right.
there.
Well, thanks for joining us from Canada.
Hey. I think Miss Amy ought to sing us a song from The Wizard of Oz. We welcome you to Lollipop Land.
All right. Do you know the words to that? Hey,
Lollipop.
No.
I'm trying.
I'm sorry, Billy. You've gone beyond her oeuvre there. Thanks for the call.
And thanks for listening all the way up north.
Yeah, the Great White North, just about. The logistical concerns cannot be overlooked when it comes to nesting. So says this author and psychotherapist Laura England, and I hear her work is excellent. She believes the consistency that nesting fans are advocating is not necessarily based on the environment the child lives in, but instead in the attachment the child has to the parent.
Oh.
Yeah. We're wired for struggle, and in those moments, reaching out to loved ones who support us and validate us is what creates resilience. It's not the physical environment we live in. You can work it both ways, of course, and it works both ways depending on the individuals and the dynamics, but maybe nesting is something to consider, although I got to tell you, in the hypothetical situation of living with an ex-spouse, I mean,
I'd rather get my spleen torn out with a rusty spoon. Is that too soon?
Not a candidate for nesting then.
Is that too angry? Well, I was thinking about sharing a bathroom and unless the cleaning lady came in and scrubbed down in between.
Yeah.
And it's not that he's dirty. I just, it's just, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Thought of that.
Yeah. And then
no, gross.
And I think Laura England maybe should be your psychotherapist because she suggests that she's a little concerned about the intention of nesting. If it's used as a way to disguise or control the normal feelings of grief, such as loss, sadness, and anger that comes with a divorce.
Oh, the Amish texter texted.
Well, I'm sure he did because we're talking about divorce, and this is a favorite topic of his.
Nesting, I thought that was called marriage until I finally filed for divorce. Oh.
Not everybody's a nester.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 68. And then tomorrow, we're going to have some sun, but luckily a shower or thunderstorm around in the afternoon, a high of 82. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. He only nests with the traffic. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Okay, that's a scary thought. Thanks, Amy. Good morning. There's plenty of nesting on the inbound Kennedy. Your delays start at Montrose, although it could be worse. Just wait till school starts. Right now, it's 50 minutes from O'Hare to downtown. It's 39 from Montrose, 35 in the Express. The Ohio feeder's nested and backed up. Outbound, you've got a 10-minute delay Montrose to Sayre. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 24. The Ike, 54 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 37 from Manheim. Outbound 33 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 59 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 45. Ryan is 33 minutes, 95 to downtown. Tollways are loosening up nicely, but northbound 53 is jammed. At Dundee to Lake Cook. The ramp to westbound Lake Cook is blocked. And Antioch 173 is blocked near 83 with a stalled freight train. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Text from the Mooch from Elmwood Park. It's not nesting. It's called your 8th anniversary. And 219 has you pegged as a Marlo Thomas. I still think I'm the leader in the clubhouse with Harvey Fierstein.
Yeah, or Froggy.
Froggy's good, too.
I like Froggy.
You just heard Amy. Go say something again.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, there's this girl who moved in across the street, and she came over because she wanted to play. But don't worry, I got backing up. What'd you do? What'd you do? I whipped out my lizard.
You were great in Little Rascals.
I whipped out my lizard.
You're so cute. Yeah, that age, back in the 30s. Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that enhances what we do each morning on this show. It's our digital platform featuring long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week, Cook County Board of Review Commissioner Dan Patlack talking property taxes. Our new series, Heart of the Matter, which is professional women talking about the salient public policy issues of the day, colleague to colleague. And this week, you have a group of women discussing the impact of those massive tax hikes passed by Mike Madigan, Chicago Democrats, and Madigan Republicans. Podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. This week, the focus on the school funding impasse, of course, as well as my 60 seconds of sanity commentaries. And this week, I'm tackling the argument, the catch-all defense for everything Trump says and does, that he's a fighter. You can check it all out if you go to upstream-ideas.com.
There's a really good reason why MyPillow continues to be an important sponsor of our show. It's because our listeners continue to buy MyPillows. Now, I hope you're having a great summer, but if you don't already sleep on a MyPillow, August can be even better. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack, including 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. You can move the fill to give you the exact support you need, regardless if you sleep on your back or stomach. You'll sleep deep and won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. Our friend Mike Lindell manufactures them in America using only American labor. The best part, you can wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, and you'll get the 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. In August, get your 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796, or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. If you're purchasing a home within the next year, this is very important. Your credit score is the most important factor in determining your interest rate and monthly payments. I strongly advise listeners purchasing a home to contact me as far in advance as possible so I can pre-qualify you for free. I will analyze your credit and make recommendations to improve your credit scores so you can secure the lowest rate when purchasing a home. Paying banks and other lenders a fee to get pre-qualified is ridiculous. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com and get pre-qualified for free. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Are all insurance agents the same? Well, I'd like to think I will work a little harder to give you the personal touch you need when it comes to protecting your family and hard-earned assets. My name is Tom Murray, and I'm an agent with Allstate Insurance, and we take our motto very seriously. You are, in fact, in good hands with us. I'm a longtime listener of AM 560. We have much in common, and believe me when I say I share your values and concerns. And I have never earned less than a 5-star rating with every single social media venue like Google, Yelp, and others because I deal directly with you and your concerns. Call me, Tom Murray, directly, and let's see if we can save you some money and make sure that the insurance you have on your life, auto, home, and health is the right coverage for you. Give me 15 minutes, and if I can't save you some money, I'll give you a $10 gift card to Starbucks. 847-380-1590 or Google Tom Murray Allstate and visit my website. 847-380-1590. That's 847-380-1590.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, I got another thing for you to say. All right? Ready?
What?
Say, my precious.
My precious.
Now say it like, my precious.
My precious.
Pretty close to Gollum. Pretty close to Gollum from Lord of the Rings. That's not bad.
I think I sound like Marge Simpson.
What on earth have you done? My McGuppies became bazongas.
I think you, wow. I think you sound a little bit more like the Bouvier sisters. With the smoky voices.
Oh, it just hurts.
What do you think, Jerry from Joliet? You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Before you guys end the show, I was just wondering if I could put a song request in.
Sure.
Janice, could you go ahead and sing Take Another Little Piece of My Heart?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for the call, Jerry.
Take it.
Sounds just like her. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. Break it. Take another little piece of my heart. I know you would.
No, it's starting. Your actual voice is starting to come back. That's unfortunate. Try.
That is so mean.
Try. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
That's better.
Thank you.
Lee and Hammond, Indiana. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm showing my age, but I tell you what, Amy's dead on for Brenda Vaccaro, one of the great hotties from the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. One of those actresses of stage there, Lee. Yeah, I know Brenda Vaccaro. You're not showing your age. Thanks for the call, Lee. You're showing your culture. Lee. That's what you're showing, your
Yes.
culture. Somebody else mentioned Brenda Vaccaro earlier in the show. That's a good call.
What does she sing?
She's an actress.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Who was the one who sang Gloria, who died?
Laura Branigan?
Laura Branigan. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Go ahead.
Calling Glory. Oh, boy. Calling. Is it?
Oh, hold on. I got to cover. I got earmuffs. Earmuffs, everybody, and
All right,
earmuffs.
Mike Scott, ready? Calling Gloria.
Oh, the glass.
No.
I see the glass
That
is
hurts
breaking.
too much. Yeah.
It does hurt.
Yeah, I got a crack right there.
Remember when she
Don't-
was on Saturday Night Live and she had laryngitis and she tried to plow her way through that song? It was so painful.
I'm so
But I had
glad
to turn
Rachel
it off.
Ray joined us in studio today, don't you?
Rachel Ray. Yeah, she's a little raspy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm glad you guys are having fun at my expense, but this is painful. This doesn't feel good.
Speaking of another controversial Salem Network radio talk show host, that shock jock Dennis Prager.
I mean, this is so
Rabbi Prager. They're trying to ban him.
Grandpa Prager?
They're trying to ban him from being a guest conductor of the Santa Monica Symphony Orchestra. Not kidding.
Why?
His longtime friend, he writes about this in Town Hall, townhall.com, can the conservative conduct an orchestra? And, of course,
Can a
being
conservative conduct an orchestra?
seriously, being a man of letters, as Dennis Prager is, he has routinely conducted symphonies at Brentwood, Westwood, Glendale, West Los Angeles, the Pasadena Lyric Opera, L.A. Philharmonic. He studied classical music since high school when he first began playing piano and studying orchestral scores. This is a Renaissance man. He was asked by a friend of his who's in the violin section at the L.A. Philharmonic to conduct the orchestra, but because he's a conservative,
Oh, my God.
he's got some members of the Santa Monica Symphony Orchestra that are rallying to ban him, to rescind the invitation just because they disagree with him on politics. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
shrillness
keep it
and
coming.
silliness, even in the arts, especially in the arts from the left. And it also highlights the fact that conservatives, like Dennis Prager, are great patrons of the arts and artists in their own right.
Well, thanks so much for making us part of your day and for putting up with my voice.
Thank you, Harvey Firestein. I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?
Here's Mike Scott.
We're watching a Capitol showdown in Springfield. On a partly sunny day ahead, WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.